rights. The commission made it clear on Monday that they do not have the authority to govern a constitutionally elected office such as the sheriff, and that Sheriff Nick Smith is entitled to operate the department as he sees fit. The commission also said that it is committed to working with any federal authorities that might be investigating this case. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Brian Dawson here, CEO of 1819 News. I'm also the host of 1819 News, the podcast, and we'd love for you to join us by listening to our weekly show on all the top podcast apps, both in audio and video format. At 1819 News, the podcast, we are in pursuit of a free and flourishing Alabama. Every week, we're having important conversations with guests from across this great state, all with the goal of equipping Alabamians to be in pursuit of a free and flourishing Alabama with us. New episodes are released weekly. I hope you'll join us.
The Alabama State Board of Education will be meeting sometime later this week to determine if the state will take over the Dallas County school system. 5 of the 11 schools in that system received either a D or F grade for their performance last year. This past February, the Dallas County Board of Education approved a resolution that is in favor of the state taking over that school system. Well, first it was North Alabama, and now it's South Alabama, where FBI and Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents have arrested 9 illegal aliens. All of those arrests were made in Baldwin County. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. It's true, rates aren't as low as they have been for the past couple of years, but there are still many homeowners that could benefit from refinancing their current mortgage. There are a lot of things in life that are out of our control, but your mortgage rate is not one of them. If you currently have an adjustable rate mortgage, then you owe it to yourself to give us a call.
Adjustable rate mortgages make sense for some people in stable markets, but in this wild, ever-changing rate environment, it only makes sense to secure a fixed interest rate. A fixed interest rate will give you the peace of mind that your rate is locked. Your rate will not be subject to change with the political and economic tides.
At Alabama Home Mortgage, you can personalize your term. We offer 8-year to 30-year mortgages and everything in between. Grab your mortgage statement and give us a call.
Call Alabama Home Mortgage, the #1 mortgage lender in Alabama, today at 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36A, Equal Housing Lender.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/score. Ethos.com/score.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
We all want access to care and coverage we need to stay healthy. But Farm Bureau health plans aren't the answer. They are unregulated and unreliable when it comes to covering you and your family. If you have cancer or another pre-existing condition, well, you'd be out of luck. Alabama deserves better than empty promises. Call your state legislator now and tell them to vote no on Farm Bureau health plans. Visit fightcancer.org/Alabama. It's time for real health insurance.
Paid for by the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
This is the Trump country. We live in the Southeast. We drink sweet tea. We don't drink socialist Kool-Aid.
Did you ever find Bugs Bunny attractive when he put on a dress and play a girl bunny? No. No. Neither did I. I was just asking.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Well, we have some good news to kick off the show today. The price of eggs is going down. And the price of gasoline.
Yeah, steadily been declining.
Eddie Bader here in the studio with me. How you darn today?
Pretty good. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing all right. And there's so much to get to today. But that's what I want to start with. It seems like as much as the stock market, we just saw the stock of the Dow go down 666.
Yep.
You know what that means?
The devil's in charge of the stock market for a second.
Number of the beast.
Yeah,
Great rock song, though.
But it quickly went past that. I think we're
675 now. 676. All right, we could just count that all day. Bitcoin on quite a sale as it moves with the rest of the market.
Oh, I didn't even check with the Bitcoin.
Yeah, I think though that crypto summit last week and all the signals being sent by a few of the banks and other investment companies, I think in the long run, Bitcoin's golden, literally golden. But in the short term, everything's turning down, and it's over this tariff war.
Yeah.
Did you see the guy named Doug Ford? I guess he's the brother of the guy who was smoking crack.
That's all I could ever see in the guy. He looks too much like his brother, so I just instantly assumed crackhead. But yeah.
But he's acting real tough.
Yeah, he does.
Saying, I'm going to shut off all electricity to any Americans that are using the electricity we produce.
I wish he would.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's times like that.
You wish he would.
When the littlest, loudest guy runs that mouth just a little bit too much, and somebody gets the fly swatter out, it kind of sets the field.
Yeah. But, I mean, you look here and certain things like gasoline down 4-year low.
Yep.
4-year low. Just in a few weeks.
Wait a minute. 4-year low?
Yeah.
4 years?
In just a few weeks. So y'all are looking for results.
Yeah, but Joey, he said day one. I mean, it's been, like you said, a few weeks, Joey.
I think, as he said in the State of the Union, there's no policing some of you.
I think he is right about that.
No, it reminds me of some relationships. It's like at a certain point, it's like, there's nothing I can say. Nothing I can do.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Mm-hmm. It's just like, I'm guilty.
Yeah. Not you, it's me.
Right. So I think that's just going to be the case with a lot of these folks, as they're also beating the drum that Elon Musk said in a Larry Kudlow interview yesterday that he's gonna take out Social Security and Medicare.
I saw part of the interview. I didn't see
that
at all.
He didn't say that at all. We'll get to that.
I did see
But again, it's this sort of horse crap.
Yeah.
That I guess the new spokesperson for the Democrats is this woman who did the State of the Union response, Senator Slotkin, who, what was she? Oh, she was a CIA agent.
Yes, she was, Joey.
So you literally have...
Once a CIA agent,
right.
Always a CIA agent.
So you literally
Joey.
have somebody working for the agency who's now your new spokesperson.
At least they're not hiding it.
Well, we're defending those institutions. But she was pushing that big lie to scare old people and the intellectually underprivileged.
Would you see Donald Trump told Elon Musk he's going to buy a Tesla today?
I did see that.
Just to support him?
Well, because Teslas are being attacked all over the nation.
Catching on fire. People setting them on fire.
And also, I mean, who hacked X yesterday? Who shut it down for a while?
Okay, you tell me now. I'm an old guy that was on the internet, but I read it was Ukraine. Is that just an old guy energy there? Or?
No, Elon said that in that Kudlow interview, that we trace some of these IP addresses back to the Ukrainian area, but then there's another hacktivist group taking credit for it that's more pro-Hamas.
Oh.
I don't think either's exactly accurate.
I see. Okay.
Just don't. But it does go to show that when the left is out of power, they will destroy good things because they're good.
Yeah. Yep.
Seriously,
nobody's happy.
It's a little unnerving, but seeing the rise of the violent left again, especially like some of the obnoxious protests in Europe. It's like, man, y'all.
Did you see the one this weekend?
With all the boobs out?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not even like, it's just
I know.
gross.
It's
like, put your breasts away, women.
That's how I felt, too.
Yeah.
I honestly did.
Yeah, and you never feel that.
Never. Never.
Did you also see the catwalk where it was a dude who had huge, big old breast implants walking around with those things out?
I saw that. That was.
And I'm like, what is going on in Europe? What is their obsession with breasts?
Well, for one,
and making them look ugly.
They need some testosterone bad over there. Bad.
So we got vandalism and destruction of property and hack attacks against Elon Musk for. What? Oh, he's trying to destroy your Social Security and your Medicare. No, he's not. In fact, if you look at the Biden administration, the Government Accountability Office estimated something about $500 billion in waste in the entitlement programs. So if you get rid of that $500 billion in waste, well, what do they mean by waste? I mean, like sending a bunch of money, say Small Business Administration loans during the pandemic to people that were 9 years old. Right. They weren't really. Or people that were 130 years old.
Yes.
They weren't really. There's a lot of waste and fraud. By stopping that fraud, what do? You actually are strengthening, protecting.
Yes.
Bringing competence and care to the administration of these programs that, yes, people are entitled to. By the way, that's my favorite thing. That's a tell that you're not dealing with rational folks who can think and say multiple possibilities or in like gradients, but it's just emotional on off. Like, don't call it entitlement. I worked all my life for that. I'm like, that's literally what the word entitlement means. You're entitled to it. Goodness gracious, sometimes.
Yeah, it's just the way you say it, Joe. It's just the way you say it.
You're making me sound like I'm a welfare queen. Well, you shouldn't be using that term either.
Good idea.
Come on. But I want to go back to the whole trade war thing, because that's what's really hitting this economy right now. At least Wall Street, they're not too happy about it. Wall Street's not too happy about it at all. But this guy, what's his name? Rob Ford, he gets all tough.
He just go smoke a rock already.
Yeah, he's Ontario tough.
Right.
And he's making a threat, claiming he's responding to threats. So I think just to set the mood here for the Trump statement that was put out this morning, which I'm about to read, big old long, paragraph-long statement from President Trump on Truth Social, we should play what President Trump is responding to. Here's Rob Ford. I guess he's Ontario's premier. Not Rob Ford, Doug Ford.
Doug Ford.
Was Rob the brother?
Yep. He knew how to party.
He did know how to party. And honestly, if you're going to have a mayor that has a drug habit, crack ain't the worst of them.
Oh, we had our own, Marion Barry.
Right. I mean, you're going to be working extra hours.
Well, he was taking crack right off the street. One rock
Man, he knows every line item in that budget. How does he do it?
Right. It's like he's up all night.
But here is Doug Ford. Well, let's listen in.
Let me be clear. I will not hesitate to increase this charge. If necessary, if the United States escalates, I will not hesitate to shut the electricity off completely. Believe me when I say I do not want to do this.
Yeah.
I feel terrible for the American people because it's not the American people who started this trade war. It's one person who's responsible.
Yeah.
That's President Trump.
Like 89 million people like that guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd rather be working together. I want to sell the U.S. more energy, more electricity, more critical minerals. I want to make Canada and the United States the richest, most successful, safest, most secure two countries on the planet.
Well, then why are you defending the status quo?
Right.
But as Premier, my number one job is to protect the people of Ontario and in hand protect the people of Canada. I will do whatever it takes. I will fight like I've never fought before to protect Ontario.
So that's what some of the Canadians are throwing down. Here this morning.
Did he make any comments to China, by the way? Because, you know, they really upped their tariff game, too. A little more than ours, in fact.
I think it's going to be pretty incredible how quickly a lot of this gets resolved. Yeah. But Trump responded to this morning. Based on Ontario, Canada, placing a 25% tariff on electricity's in quotes for some reason, coming into the United States, I have instructed my Secretary of Commerce to add an additional 25% tariff to 50% on the steel and aluminum, or do they call it aluminium up there?
Yeah, aluminium.
Coming into the United States from Canada, one of the highest tariffing nations anywhere in the world. This will go into effect tomorrow morning, March 12th. Also, Canada must immediately drop their anti-American farmer tariff of 250% to 390% on various U.S. dairy products, which has long been considered outrageous. I will shortly be declaring a national emergency on electricity within the threatened area. This will allow the U.S. to quickly do what has to be done to alleviate this abusive threat from Canada. The president goes on. He says, If other egregious long-time tariffs are not likewise dropped by Canada, that will substantially increase on April the 2nd the tariffs on cars coming into the U.S., which will essentially permanently shut down the automobile manufacturing business in Canada. Those cars can easily be made in the USA. Also, Canada pays very little for national security, relying on the United States for military protection. We are subsidizing Canada to the tune of more than $200 billion a year. Why? This cannot continue. The only thing that makes sense is for Canada to become our cherished 51st state. This would make all tariffs and everything else totally disappear.
Make it go away.
Canadians' taxes will be very substantially reduced. They will be more secure, militarily and otherwise, than ever before. There would no longer be a northern border problem, and the greatest and most powerful nation in the world will be bigger, better, and stronger than ever. And Canada will be a big part of that. The artificial line of separation drawn many years ago will finally disappear, and we will have the safest and most beautiful nation anywhere in the world. And your brilliant anthem, "O Canada," will continue to play, but now representing the great and powerful state within the greatest nation that the world has ever seen. Thus speaks Donald John Trump this morning.
Huh?
No, and this is one thing that I do appreciate about this at this point. Like, I believe in a world where, like, how we don't have tariffs on other states, that's ideal.
Sure.
Like, it's ideal not to have all these barriers and whatnot, trying to micromanage the economy. I generally think that's a good thing in an ideal world. But all these so-called free trade agreements that have been inked over the years, they're not free trade agreements.
No, they're not.
They're just as much managed. And in many ways, what was that? Canada put 250% tariffs on certain products, 390% tariffs on other ones.
Yep.
The Canadians, as well as the Europeans, and many other so-called allies doing the same thing. Well, how about if y'all actually want free trade, we have free trade. In the meantime, we're going to have fair trade.
Yeah.
So if you still want to try to protect some of these industries, we'll bring down the tariffs together if it's hurting everybody so much. That's what I appreciate. These folks act like, these countries act like, oh, we're innocent. And the big, bad, mean orange man who runs the United States of America that's better than this.
The grift is up, my friend.
That's such a womanly insult. You're better than this, Eddie.
No,
I know your mother, and I know the young man she raised. What happened to that young man? You're better than this.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I've been having to tell a lot of people that lately. I knew your mother. It's like, okay, she's a wonderful woman. I miss her very much. She shaped me in a lot of ways, but she wasn't right about everything. And, I'm my own person.
Joey, you're your own person?
Yeah, you're better than that.
You're better than that, Joey.
Well, I don't know. Don't know if I am. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228.
But he was right about the automotive manufacturers over there. Who else is Canada selling cars to, buddy?
Right. And the fact that this Mark Carney guy, he is World Economic Forum acolyte of Klaus Schwab. He's crazy deep into the whole, we have to go completely green because the existential threat of climate change.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
He's not going to make the Canadian position stronger. And seriously, I think it's outlandish. I'm not predicting it will happen. But if most of the provinces in Canada continue to go to this crazy leftward drift, and the one part that is like pioneer people that produces a lot of the energy in the country, Alberta, is tired of it, you might see them try to become part of the United States. That's the craziest scenario. Again, I'm not predicting it.
Well, it's just so funny.
Man.
As many times I've been to Canada, I've never met these nuts. Regular Canadians, they're cool. They're, honest to God, they were normal people. I never met such people of high concern.
People of high concern.
Yeah.
That's one way to put it. Now, let's go to a voice you don't often hear. This is one of the cabinet members, Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins. I don't think we've heard from her.
I don't think so. I think all are in place now, though, right?
I think all of them pretty much are in place. But here's Brooke Rollins talking about the price of eggs.
We're more focused on how we bring the price of eggs down in the avian bird flu for everyone. A good piece of news we just got in the last average cost of a dozen eggs has now gone down $1.85 since we announced our plan about a week and a half ago on February the 26th. So listen, we're going into Easter season. This is always the highest price for eggs. We're more focused on how.
Going to have to pick potatoes and hide them instead of eggs.
But if you look at the year-long chart, it is a pretty dramatic drop off that $1.85, which is a very good thing indeed. I like seeing that.
A dozen eggs were $1.85. You could throw them at people.
Yeah, did you do that? Did you?
Oh, yeah.
You're better than this.
Yeah.
Don't make me tell your mother.
Heard that a lot, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And also gasoline dropping.
Gas has been the big thing to me. Again, it's important in my life. I'm there every other day. So seeing it come down, that lets me know that not just me, but truckers and everybody, energy prices are coming down. That's what we want.
And again, we've only just begun.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the stock market is now down another 700 points. It's down. See, you got to look at this more in terms of percentages. It's down about just shy of 2%, 1.7% at the moment. And the White House briefing is now ongoing. Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, as markets react to tariff uncertainty. And it's like, okay, let's get it out of our system. But we're going to have to reset things here.
Granted, that's not thrilling news to me, but I knew a while back it had to get worse before it got better.
Well, I've been thinking we lived in a zombie economy for a while.
I think we did. The old auto pen was at work.
Well, we've been in, by zombie, I mean like a heroin addict.
Yeah.
Except we're addicted to debt. A lot of debt. And in particular, as a nation, addicted to very cheap debt. That was going to get about $7 trillion of that debt was maturing right as the Trump administration comes in. They're going to have to refinance at much higher rates. You thought the interest payment was more than national offense. It's about to be more than everything in the budget.
Yep.
Thus, the push to drive down energy costs, to drive down interest rates. And essentially, the Fed will, if you actually start to see recession fears, which will pull down inflation as well, because it'll pull down the bad kind of inflation, which is debt leveraged inflation. It's not just the amount of money chasing too few goods. It's also a lot of that money went into, say, asset classes and into the stock market, and thus pumped up a lot of these things. So I think you're also seeing Bitcoin track in the near term down. So we'll see. I'm not shocked by any of this. Well, as we've been predicting, I think it's the no pain, no gain strategy. And if you're addicted to cheap debt and you're just increasing the credit card debt of the nation, well, eventually there's got to be an intervention. And it's not going to feel good in the near term.
I know how we can fix it tomorrow. We sell California.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
Push it on out there.
Or give it to the Canadians or something.
Trade somebody for Greenland for California.
We'll get Alberta, you get Canada.
There you go.
And like all the Silicon Valley people can move the rest of their stuff to Texas if they're so...
I think they're heading that way.
They want to do that.
I think they are heading that way. Talk about cheap energy. A lot cheaper in Texas.
That's what's, breaking this morning. A lot of things coming up, but, there's actually more.
More?
Marco Rubio says Ukraine must cede territory.
Oh, boy.
Oh, you mean he's like actually being realistic?
Yeah. Saying that part out loud, which we all knew that.
Right. Y'all tried to get past that defensive line not too long ago. Y'all tried. Didn't work. So what are you going to do? Rubio just laying it down that, this is the nature of war.
At least I'll be honest, he's not trying to cover it. He's being upfront about it.
Yeah.
Not trying to, cover it up with roses.
And apparently today, Rubio is meeting with Ukrainian officials in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia.
Oh.
So we'll see. Apparently a letter was written apologizing to Trump by Zelensky.
Okay, I've got questions about the letter.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know how it was delivered? Was it really a letter? Was it an email, like somebody else said, with a PDF attachment? Or was it a real letter, hand-delivered? Or,
I bet it was a real one.
You think so?
Yeah,
like one of those official, hey, this is from...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and actually it's fancy. It's like one of those Hallmark cards you open up and then it has an audio chip in it.
That's okay. That's what I was thinking.
Like, Mr. President, I am very, very sorry.
I would accept no less than that.
Mm-hmm.
I would accept no less.
But from the New York Times, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said on Monday that Ukraine would have to make concessions over land that Russia had taken since 2014 as part of any agreement to end the war. Duh.
You think Rubio's got a new map with him today? Want to show some people the new map?
The most important thing that we have to leave here with is a strong sense that Ukraine is prepared to do difficult things, like the Russians are going to have to do difficult things to end this conflict, or at least pause it in some way, shape, or form. Rubio declined to offer the outline of a potential agreement, but made clear the concessions by both sides would be central to diplomacy, saying, quote, I think both sides need to come to an understanding that there's no military solution to the situation. The Russians can't conquer all of Ukraine, said Rubio, and obviously it'll be very difficult for Ukraine in any reasonable time period to sort of force the Russians back all the way to where they were in 2014. Rubio added that it would be imperative in future talks with Moscow to determine what Russia was willing to concede. We don't know how far apart they truly are, Rubio said. Now, although the United States has stopped sharing some intelligence with Ukraine, Mr. Rubio said it was still providing Kiev with information that allowed it to continue defending itself against Russian attacks. So essentially, they're not giving intelligence to strike deep within Russian territory with the attackums anymore. Rubio also said that there has never been a threat of removing Ukraine's access to Starlink, the internet service company owned by Elon Musk and SpaceX. Yeah, what a bad guy. He hates the Ukrainians, loves the Russians, other than, he's been providing you with your comm system this whole war.
Yeah.
And yet,
and he was the first one to jump in with
all his stuff.
He was the first one to jump in with, hey, let's send him Starlink.
Yep. What a mess. What an absolute mess. 272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by great folks there at Dillon Rings. And at Dillon Rings, Josh and Leslie Ryder, well, they've put together an amazing full-service jewelry shop.
Yes, they have.
It really is a beautiful place to stop by, especially if you're looking for, like, that first piece of jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
Something fun, something whimsical. Kind of playing around with the whole idea. And I'm looking on Facebook. They've got this big birthday sale going on, half off, half the store until the end of March.
Holy cow.
Because of Josh's birthday. But what I'm looking at, it's like a bedazzled paperclip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like fun little things that, like if you're looking, say, your daughter's like 5 or 6.
Right.
You want to get her something sweet and shiny and fun that's not going to break the bank either. Yeah, go by Dillon Rings. They've got it for you.
Definitely.
They've got the everyday jewelry. They've got the high-end jewelry. They can also do repair work, spa treatments of your favorite jewelry to make it shine and shimmer like it's brand new. And, of course, that custom design work. And, in fact, maybe you could do a custom designed first piece of jewelry. That's something fun.
That'd be interesting.
Not a lot of material, but something
fun little piece.
Say that little princess in your life is going to love.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all check them out today. You can always go to DillonRings.com or just search for Dillon Rings on Facebook or Instagram. But I really encourage you to stop by 119 Brown Springs Road right here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
For reliable electrical services in Central Alabama, trust the experts at Crosby Electric. Crosby's licensed and insured electricians are ready to tackle any project for your home. From troubleshooting, repairs, to installing new lighting and preventive maintenance. And Crosby understands the need for quality service for small business. Crosby is big enough for the largest job, yet small enough to bring real value. Visit CrosbyElectric.com to schedule your service. Crosby, powering Central Alabama with excellence.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk,
I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
This is Jonathan with Oswald's Apparel and Footwear in Prattville. With all that's changed in the last decade, I really thought that radio advertising was dead, but I was wrong. We opened our store during the pandemic, and we wouldn't have been near as successful without advertising on Blue Water. Practically every day, someone comes in for the first time and tells us they heard about Oswald's on the radio. I highly recommend advertising with Blue Water.
Blue Water Broadcasting is the #1 most listened to radio group in the River Region. Find out how to put this reach to work for your business. Call us to find out how we can help. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. All eyes on Wall Street today following yesterday's huge sell-off, prompted at least in part by recession fears. After one of the worst single-day sell-offs in Tesla history, President Trump is throwing his support behind his advisor Elon Musk, vowing to buy one of his vehicles. Tesla has been pounded this year under competition from rival electric vehicles, especially those coming out of China. Shares have plummeted 45% so far this year, tumbling more than 15% yesterday. Nissan announces its chief executive, Makoto Uchida, is stepping down. He's giving up the post after Nissan reported dismal financial results. Nissan projecting a $540 million loss for the current fiscal year. Nissan says Ivan Espinosa, currently the company's chief planning officer, will take Uchida's place. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
We've got a couple of nice days to enjoy before some more turbulent times later in the week, especially that Saturday severe weather threat. But for today, just about perfect with a high temperature up to about 74, plenty of sunshine. In fact, more sun tomorrow, Wednesday, with a high of 77. Risk of some scattered showers and thunderstorms by Thursday afternoon as the first of 2 disturbances move in. Friday's dry and warm, high 81. But it's that storm system Saturday that has our undivided attention. Could be a rather significant severe weather event, especially by late Saturday and Saturday night. That would include a tornado threat as well. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
At CB&S Bank, we've been meeting the needs of our customers since 1906. Need help setting up new business goals? Our line of commercial loans can help you achieve them. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. This part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo Goodson has a unique understanding of the River Region real estate market because he's been helping buyers and sellers here in the Montgomery and surrounding areas for nearly 50 years. And at the Goodson Group, they can not only help you with buying and selling property, but they have management services available should you want to rent out your home, which is a great idea in this market, but managing a property yourself, especially if you have no experience, can really be a pain in the butt. Why not, for a reasonable fee, have the Goodson Group do it for you? And then the crown jewel there at the Goodson Group is the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed real estate programs in the state, because number one, Bo is bringing that 50 years of experience to bear. He's been through it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. He can teach that to you direct. And number two, it's acclaimed because it's the proof of folks finding great success after graduating from Bo's real estate school. whether it's more knowledgeable private players, maybe you learn to manage properties and you're now doing that yourself, or as fully licensed real estate agents. So y'all check out the Goodson Group today. You can always go to thegoodsongroup.com to learn more. Just call them up direct, 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group, great sponsor here of the program. Let's go to the phones and talk to Soldier Boy. Hey, Soldier Boy, how you doing?
Thank you. Thank you for taking my call today.
What's on your mind?
Yeah, well, a lot of things were on my mind, but you made a good point. You stole my steam on that one. Before Trump put those tariffs down, you don't hear it on the news, all these countries had tariffs already.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
We've been paying tariffs. Nobody's saying anything squat about it. And like Trump said, he wanted fair trade. And that's fair. And they're making a big waddle. We're going to threaten us to do this. You've been doing tariffs our ass so many damn times, so many years, for so long. It's pathetic. For example, in China, I'm surprised Tesla's going to, I guarantee it, Tesla will be going out of China soon because China's got their own electric car company over there and it's being subsidized by the government. He's going to have a hard time competing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Okay? And then he's going to try to sell, and then China's going to try to sell their crap over here. I think other people don't understand in the world. What country is the biggest consumer?
The United States.
We are. We are. Our country's the largest. I mean, we consume like there's like a monster in a buffet. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We consume. I mean, not just waste, consume. Look at Guinness Book of World Records. Who creates and generates the most trash every day per pound? It's the United States.
Yep.
We just consume. Okay? So, but you don't hear that other side that we've been paying tariffs. And let me ask you a question about Canada. Okay? Screw electricity. Canada's only got two things. That's beer. Good beer.
Yep. They got good beer.
And the hockey. That's it. Beer and hockey. I don't know what else they're talking about. They don't do any other crap.
Well, they got some all right Canadian wrestlers.
Oh yeah, well they come over
Yeah,
here.
we can't tariff the wrestlers, can we?
I mean, it depends.
Oh, here's what's so funny. Yeah. Well,
he also, I guess, gave us Ryan Reynolds.
They can have that back.
They can have that.
They can have that back.
You over the whole Van Wilder thing?
I'm good with that now.
Yeah, we got the real one. Burt Kreischer has a pocket.
Do you remember when COVID, when they went on strike? What did the country did? They locked every one of their damn bank accounts up.
Hey, remember the truckers?
Crap.
Yep. Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's truckers. Yeah, remember? Yeah. The truckers. That's what I said. The tractors. Did I say that? I mean truckers.
Both, yeah.
That's that. I mean, those people. They couldn't pay their bills. I mean, this was nothing but non-violent violence.
Oh yeah, no. The Canadian government is very much like a lot of the Western world that has drifted further and further left in this corporate socialist, whatever you want to call it. I think all the old words we use don't quite fit, but it definitely comes across as womanly control and suppression of freedom. I'll put it that way. Before I forget, Soldier Boy, I want to give you credit. I don't know if you heard yesterday, but it is your prodding last week.
Prodding?
Your prodding over the phone last week on this show that inspired my weekly column this week.
Oh, my God.
No, really, when you asked me, why is the Black Lives Matter thing still around the fountain, I was like, damn, I was just down there last week, and I parked literally right next to the fountain, and I didn't even look down. I didn't know. So I looked into it and went down there myself just to confirm the continued existence. And guess what I found down there? On top of the mural. On top of the mural.
My name?
Nope.
Wait a minute. My name's spray painted on by Gary?
Nope. It was worse than that. A porta potty.
Yeah.
A portable toilet.
Yep.
Just sitting right there. It's like entrance facing Rosa Parks at statue. Right there in the circle. I'm like, who put a... I guess the city wanted to add some, class to it or something. It's just a...
Well, it's very classy. Very, very, very much. I just can't understand why they're making this big deal about tariffs. It doesn't make me sweat one bit.
Me
We
neither.
have leverage, and Mr. Trump knows that. We are the number one consumer in the world. We got leverage. Nobody else. We don't buy your crap. That's fine. We don't buy your cars. That's fine. We don't need it. We'll build it over here. And we should have done that. We should have done that with its pharmaceuticals. China is built.
Agreed.
Is making too much money.
And we still didn't learn our lesson during COVID. We still import
Well,
too many.
and there are a lot of folks on Wall Street that would much prefer a certainty that will end in certain disaster
Sure.
as opposed to
Well,
making the tough decisions in the short term.
Well, I like what Mr. Trump did, very much so. He's building 2 or 3 of the world's biggest semiconductor factories, giving them financial incentives to build those and create jobs and strengthen our country. Unlike giving incentives, like Biden did to the car dealerships to sell freaking damn electric toy cars, you know?
Yep.
You know, the only place, 90% of our, that's what China wants, was it Singapore? Was that country they want to invade? And they think it's part
Taiwan.
It's China. Taiwan makes 90% of the damn.
Advanced
chips in the world.
microchips, microprocessors. But that's why it's great that they're setting up at least 3 factories, if not 4 to 5.
Certainly.
Next few years.
Do you think if they didn't have that going on over there, do you think we'd be so eager to protect them and sell them weapons? I don't think so.
No, that's a
At the
big
end
part
the
of
day-
it. But there's also other geostrategic reasons. It's it's why the Chinese want it and why the U.S. kind of doesn't want them to have it. Is it's an unsinkable aircraft carrier.
You know, well, it's going to get to a point where aircraft carriers are going to be obsolete anyway. They're going to be like dinosaurs in the future.
Yeah, but
the
islands
bottom line
don't
is-
become obsolete like they do, is the point.
Absolutely. For example, a C-5 has to reland and refuel and take off. And guess what country that is? Guam.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Guam is so strategically military-wise. I didn't even realize how bad it was. Man, you better give them all the subsidies they want because, trust me, China wants it more than anybody else you could think of.
Well, and essentially
know
the
that-
game, as I understand it in layman's terms, is for the United States, we need to keep China's blue water navy essentially boxed in and defend the first island chain. China's role in this game is to break the first island chain stranglehold and be able to expand outward and control more of the seas in their area. So
Well, we
we'll
don't have
see
to worry
how it
about
works
that.
out.
We won't have to worry about that those planes and the C-5s having the distance to be able to make enough fuel to land on land. We can always hire and build the planes that Biden wanted to do solar.
Just can't fly at night.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Solar plane, man.
But I appreciate the call, Soldier Boy. Good one.
All right, y'all have a great day.
See you, Soldier Boy.
Hey, Eddie, guess this sound.
John Michael Ross, the Daily Mail, here at Black Lives Matter Plaza, where you can see behind me, the mural is currently being erased.
That's a sound of freedom. I've used one of those before.
Oh, a jackhammer?
Yeah, man.
How does it make you feel as a man?
Good for a few minutes.
Then it does it wear out your hand?
Oh, yeah, you have to literally peel your fingers back.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, and so you're going to be sore, especially in all those connecting muscles, like your grip.
Yeah, you're looking for somebody else is what you're doing. Who else is going to want?
Strangely, to this day, that's the weakest thing on, grip strength is probably still the weakest thing.
Oh, yeah. I think the first time I measured it that I really remember measuring was when we went to work for Hyundai. We had to do this thing called the Hunan Physical, and they checked our grip strength. And I remember thinking, I don't know, I've never checked that before, but obviously it was good enough for pass.
Oh, no, I've learned there could be guys that look like all muscly.
Oh, I've
bulging and all this stuff. And then you got fellas that are balded and look like a bowling ball. You need to check the forearms.
Dude.
Seriously, there's some guys that don't look it. Even skinny guys. If those forearms are popping, you probably don't want to mess with that person.
Charles, and I worked with him several years, great guy at Hyundai. But of course, we used to do silly things, and one of the things was arm wrestle. I let somebody else arm wrestle Charles first. And then I said, no. Because that other dude had 2 hands. Yeah. 2 hands and standing up. And Charles was on the desk. And Charles is a little shorter than you, but stocky, but he doesn't look like he's got that strength. He's got that strength.
Right. It's just raw.
Yeah.
There's some dudes you just don't want, and you can't tell by just looking at
them.
No. Look at the forearm. You can kind of be like, they don't even have a wrist. Okay.
That's right. Just one solid log.
But again, here's that video. This is, I guess, somebody for the Daily Wire in Washington, D.C.
John Michael Ross, the Daily Mail here.
Or Daily Mail.
Plaza, where you can see behind me, the mural is currently being erased.
Yeah, the mural, the Black Lives Matter mural in Washington, D.C. is being pulled up, and they're preparing for the 250th anniversary of America.
Now, is that being pulled
or
up?
Maybe Montgomery could follow suit.
Is that being pulled up by the city?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the mayor there, Muriel Bowser, announced it.
I remember
over the weekend.
that Trump and them had reached out to her about cleaning up the city, too. So I was wondering how well she took that.
No, and I think it's time, I agree.
Montgomery
should get ready for the 250th birthday of America.
Don't start that grift yet with these people.
Are you going to be on the show tomorrow? I think we're going to have the mayor.
I will not. Actually, I have listing appointments tomorrow and Thursday.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I found you a house, Joyce.
Oh, you did? Little A-frame?
Watauga County, 22 acres of land.
22 acres?
Yeah.
A lot can get done on 22 acres.
Yeah, I'm excited to go check
Is there
it out.
already a house on the on the property?
Yep.
How big?
3-2.
3-2.
And that's a crazy
It's not
thing. Not to go too crazy in real estate, but that's a crazy thing. I got so many people that are single guys or an older person that's looking for like a 1 or 2 bedroom house. They just don't build them. They're not there.
Right.
They're not there.
Yeah, the 3-2 is a little, because I was living in one in Forest Hills.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's technically a 3-2.
Yeah.
Like, that's tiny bedrooms.
But no, it's a 3-2.
Yeah.
And see, with you being single, like you could set up one room for your studio.
Yeah, right.
But
right.
at the end of the day, you start going, I just got all this space.
So the Watauga County?
Yeah. Be about a 32-minute ride for you.
It's not
not
the
out of
worst
the
thing
range.
in the
No,
world.
no. It's a good time to
Get some Starlink set up out there?
Oh, Starlink's aggressive. In fact, they've dropped price on Starlink. Got us looking at it now.
All right. I don't mind that. I mean, how much a month do you think?
On that one out there?
Yeah.
Well, with trade out that we'd have to arrange for you, probably under $2,000 a month. It'd be some trade out somewhere along the line.
Man, that's steep compared to what I'm doing right now. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey.
Hey.
How are you guys?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Good.
I'm good. I listened to yesterday's show, but I didn't get the chance to call in. But I saw Eddie's T-shirt, and I love it. Rebel Scum since 17.
Oh.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, Joey bought me that
I
shirt.
bought that as a gift when we both kind of fell for Vivek Ramaswamy. It's the first time I think I've donated to a campaign by buying a thing.
Yeah, I wear it all the time.
Wait, that
People
was
give me
from Ramaswamy's campaign?
yes.
Yeah, because Nikki Haley in one of the first debates just called him scum. And so they came out with Star Wars themed shirts, Rebel Scum.
Yeah, well, I love Star Wars and I love history, so that was a pretty good campaign merchandise.
I agree.
So I wanted to see what you guys thought on the USMCA, which is the free trade agreement that Trump enacted at the end of his first term in 2020, which is what we currently are under. Because under the USMCA, which is just a U.S., Mexico, Canada, like the trade agreement, the vast majority of imports between our three countries, so Canada importing things from the U.S., vice versa, Mexico importing things from Canada, vice versa, most things are not tariffed. And the way that they signed that agreement was so that, like, most things wouldn't have tariffs and they would have low shipping fees. And then once they reach like a threshold for certain markets, and for Canada specifically, their agricultural imports from the U.S., once we've reached like 117 billion in trade or something like that, then these high tariffs that Canada has on those agricultural imports go into effect. So it's a way to both have trade with the U.S., but also ensure that their farmers are selling locally, which is stronger for their own economy. And the reason why I think this is important to bring up is because, like, Trump signed this into law, like, at the end of his first term, and he's now sidestepping it with this claim like the only reason why Trump is legally allowed to put tariffs on Canada or Mexico without breaking the USMCA that he signed at the end of his first term is because of, what do you call it?
It's a national security exception.
Yeah, and so he's claiming that there's a national security exception with Canada with illegal fentanyl crossings. But we know from the Department of Homeland Security under the Border Control, subdepartment that, illegal fentanyl crossings from Canada make up less than 1%.
That's at
Of,
ports.
that's
at ports of entry. That's the stuff you found at ports of entry. It's a fairly porous border.
But what I don't understand is why, again, I told you guys my conspiracy theory last week that I think he's just trying to intentionally crash the stock market. And so for me, I'm trying to find a motive here for why he would go back on his word of the USMCA in 2020. And I'm just not seeing a motive other than he wants to intentionally crash the stock market.
Well, I think he's reasserting, let's say, American dominance here in our own hemisphere. This is a way to sort of reset the table. You might be onto something with purposely wanting to bring down some of the stock market in the sense of force the Fed to bring down interest rates. Because there was about $7 trillion in U.S. Treasuries that were about to mature, and they were going to have to refinance them at current rates. It's already over $1 trillion in interest payments with our current outstanding debt. That would have ballooned it even more beyond just defense spending. It would eat into a lot of the discretionary spending. So the idea is to reprivatize the economy, and part of that is letting things reset. Essentially, you have an economy that is blown up like a balloon by cheap money and credit. The cheap money and credit's running out, so let's take our medicine and go through the withdrawals right now, immediately, and do it quickly. And then hopefully within a year, you've got boom and growth in the private sector.
Do you think that that's what we did with the 2007-2008 recession?
With the 2008 recession?
Right.
No. We bailed it out. The 2008 recession is what kind of started this whole gravy train. I mean, you get a little bit of the Fed also softening the landing after the dot-com bubble, and a lot of that money goes in the housing market. I guess in the early 90s, you had the thing called the Greenspan put. That was essentially, if you're too big to fail, we'll back you up and bail you out. It created this awful moral hazard. And I think we've been living in that world for a while. I guess not that long ago, the regional banks that all failed, and they were bailed out very quickly. So I think we've been playing this game of, if any big bank, any big institution gets in trouble, let's just subsidize them and keep this thing going. But that's sort of the problem we're in. We're addicted to that cheap money, that cheap debt in particular, and that can't go on forever. It really can't.
Do you think that we're going to fall into another recession?
No, it's possible, but I don't know how long-term it'll be. In fact, if you do it fast and deep, you might actually boom back up very quickly.
I guess.
In the combination of lowering energy prices, getting rid of a lot of the regulatory regime uncertainty, incentivizing through the tariff threats, maybe not just the tariffs actually being slapped on, but the tariff threats, the reciprocal thing, it might very well be. I think this is the strategy going forward. I always like to say, I'm obviously not God. I'm also not in the middle of the White House to know their exact strategy sessions. But it does seem like the main goal is to reprivatize the economy and do it fast and take our medicine early and quickly.
I guess I just see everything following in the exact same footsteps of the last recession. And what's actually interesting is Warren Buffett's portfolio is actually looking to be more severe for this recession than the 2007-2008 one. Because right now, since Trump got elected, Musk and Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos have been selling off billions of dollars of their own stock. So, like, Zuckerberg, since Trump got elected, started selling off. I think he's sold off over $20 billion in Meta stock, his own stock.
Mm.
And that's also part of this, like, conspiracy theory that I had. Like, and Warren Buffett right now has almost close to a 50% cash
Right.
portfolio.
Yeah, the people that work with us have had big cash reserves. And I think for a long time, that's my underlying point. A long time, this market has been overpriced and been running off cheap money and credit. And again, this can't go on forever. And the reason you do it and take the pain and take the risk this way is you can do it more on your own terms as opposed to some big calamity where the global markets get out of your control.
And I think it's important to recognize, like, the relationship between the stock market and the actual economy. That is, like, how the everyday person interacts, like, monetarily with our markets. I think what's really sad to me is this idea of, well, we'll just crash the stock market and then, things will get better within a year. Like, when this stock market crash happens, it's going to follow exactly like 2007, 2008. And what that means is that unemployment is going to skyrocket. And, like, people are going to lose their retirement. Like, my grandpa is meeting with his financial advisor on Friday because he's planning on retiring at the end of this year, and he needs to pull out his retirement investment now. Because, like, he doesn't want to work anymore. He's, almost 70, and he doesn't want to work anymore. And, like, to say, like, oh, well, it'll just be a bump in the road. Well, that's not what Trump ran on. And when he was on Air Force One giving that press briefing, and they said, what are your thoughts? Like, are you worried about a recession? And he was like, we're going to have so much money, you're not going to know what to do with it. We're going to be so rich. And it's like, well, try telling that to the people who lived through 2007, 2008. Like I was in middle school, and that defined my childhood. My dad couldn't work on our family farm anymore because they weren't selling enough at auction. And he was the only one of my dad, my grandpa, my uncle who had skills to work elsewhere. So he had relatives.
I hear what you're saying, and it affects a lot of different people in a lot of different ways, as did the lockdowns during COVID and the big crash there. I think also inflating this economy, doing the bailouts, really, screwed over everyday working people, because a lot of this new money that's created, new debt, accrues to the top 1% or the 1/10 of 1%, the people with access to all that cheap money and credit at the top of, say, the economic pyramid. But I also am on this kick, and I've been on this way. Eddie can attest to this. I've been saying this for years now. And I've written about it, that we are addicted to cheap money and credit. We are addicted to debt. Bad things happen. And the biggest lie, I think, for politics from both Democrats and Republicans for a generation or two is that, no, we'll always be going good. And we're the wizards that can figure it out. Of course, there's some selling going on here, but I think the basic strategy is to, again, take our medicine early and see what happens in the next year or so. If the Trump administration does not have this economy humming by, say, America's 250th birthday, they're going to have a big problem in the midterms. But I appreciate the calls always, Aubrey. I have to hit my top of the hour break.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thanks, Aubrey.
272-9228. Like, I'm not running for office, so I'm happy to say things.
Are you
that,
sure? Because they have a dog catcher's position open, and I think you would do pretty good at that. And you could leave your politics to the side. You're a dog catcher.
I'll catch all the dogs and I'll keep them.
Exactly. That was my dream as a kid. I thought the dog catcher got to catch the dogs and take them home. I was like, who wouldn't want to be a dog catcher?
And now look at you now. You're better than this.
My dog is taking over my bed, Joey.
Look at the time.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. A Republican spending bill that would avoid a partial government shutdown and keep federal agencies funded through September comes up for a vote later today. Talks between senior officials from Ukraine and the United States on how to win Kyiv's 3-year war with Russia they have opened in Saudi Arabia. New York's corrections commissioner has declared an end to a wildcat strike by correctional officers and says more than 2,000 officers who have not returned to work have been fired. Guards upset over working conditions began illegally walking off the job February the 17th at many New York State prisons. President Trump says the U.S. economy will experience a period of transition as his policies take effect, and Wall Street is lower now, the Dow dropping 720 points. This is SRN News.
Charlie Kirk here. I've been thinking, why does it feel like losing weight is harder than ever before? Mixed messages, fad diets, and quick fix solutions. Many people are left stuck and exhausted trying to fight a battle they can't seem to win. If you feel this way, you're not alone. I used to feel that way too. But let me tell you, it's not your fault. Your body is working against you, and delaying action only makes it harder. I took a step 2 years ago and called PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition and lost 40 pounds. I feel great and have kept it off. If you are ready to make a change for life, call 855-696-2020. That is 855-696-2020 to schedule your weight loss consultation. The first 11 callers who mention healthy will get 2 free weeks added to their weight loss package. Call 855-696-2020 and mention the word healthy. Visit them at myphdweightloss.com. That is myphdweightloss.com. It works, everybody. Check it out at myphdweightloss.com. Weight loss.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by MPM Feed and Seed. It's time to get those gardens ready. From seeds to plants to fertilizer, MPM has what you need. Shop MPM Feed and Seed in Prattville, 1313 Highway 31 North. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, Saturdays, 8 to 1.
Rich Thomas Weather.
We've got a couple of nice days to enjoy before some more turbulent times later in the week, especially that Saturday severe weather threat. But for today, just about perfect with a high temperature up to about 74, plenty of sunshine. In fact, more sun tomorrow, Wednesday, with a high of 77. Risk of some scattered showers and thunderstorms by Thursday afternoon as the first of 2 disturbances move in. Friday's dry and warm, high 81. But it's that storm system Saturday that has our undivided attention. Could be a rather significant severe weather event, especially by late Saturday and Saturday night. That would include a tornado threat as well. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. Approximately 50 people are retracing the steps of the historic Selma to Montgomery Civil Rights March of 1965. They began their 54-mile march Monday morning and will walk 12 miles a day, just as the original marchers did 60 years ago. The group hopes that thousands will join them at the steps of the Alabama Capitol in Montgomery when they complete their journey on Friday. A California man is under arrest after leading police on a high-speed chase through Montgomery Monday morning. The suspect, Kofi Young Williams, was pursued by Montgomery police along Interstate 85 into Macon County, where Williams eventually crashed. Williams was initially wanted on a third-degree robbery charge. Senator Tommy Tuberville continues to push to make daylight savings time permanent. Alabama has already passed such legislation, but the change must be made at the federal level first. The next step in making daylight savings time permanent would be for the United States Congress to pass the Sunshine Protection Act. Alabama is one of 19 states already on board with the move. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Hello, I'm Mr. Ben. If your vehicle has seen better days, fear not, help is on the way. Mr. Ben's Auto Spa Express has added a professional detail shop. Specialized techniques and products are used to get your vehicle back to showroom shape. Hand washing, waxing, stain removal, odor removal, shampooing, minor scratch removal, and more. Mr. Ben's Auto Spa Express, next to Fraser Church on the Atlanta Highway. Come by for a free estimate. Look like you've been to Mr. Ben.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, There are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
How you conduct yourself in a democracy?
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Second hour of the program. You can always watch online, subscribe online. Joey Clark Live on YouTube. Appreciate Aubrey just called doing that. Also, you can watch on X at the Joey Clark. And some people watch on Facebook. I don't know about Facebook.
Is the X working today?
Yes. It is back up and running in full service. I couldn't stream because apparently the way they finally stopped this massive attack is if you weren't verified, you were completely shut down from the site. And so because we use a third-party streaming app to stream to multiple places, we couldn't even connect.
Gotcha.
Or I would have run it on X once it got back up and running yesterday. But that is a pattern now, where you're seeing anything associated with Elon Musk is now being vandalized, straight-up property destruction in some cases, setting these things on fire. There was a whole bay of Cybertrucks that was set on fire, I think in California. You're seeing it around the world as well. Now this massive attack on X, and it's like, yeah, this guy is, he must be doing something right.
Yep. Ticking
to have that
people off.
Much of a target on your back, Elon Musk must be doing something right. And the latest one is, this whole trope they keep pushing that he's going to destroy Social Security and Medicare. He's going to destroy the entitlement.
Right, right.
So Musk sat down with Larry Kudlow of Fox Business yesterday. And, well, here's the clip that apparently shows that Musk wants to destroy Social Security and Medicare.
Okay.
Let's listen in.
But I think we're doing the right thing here. There's been a tremendous amount of waste and fraud in the government. When you're part of the government, you saw a lot of that, and there's been, if you look at the Inspector General reports and the Government Accountability Office, there have been many audits that have pointed out that there's a tremendous amount of waste and fraud in the government. In fact, there was a report issued by the GAO, the Government Accountability Office, last year. So during the Biden administration, which estimated the federal government fraud to be $500 billion. So just because that's not a Trump administration thing, that's a Biden administration thing. So what we're trying to do is get that number down to a much smaller figure.
So just to give this back to y'all, 4 years during the first Trump administration, Biden administration, during the Obama years, even going all the way back to the George W. Bush years, even after we balanced the budget and all that.
Right.
There were all these reports written up by all these nerds, auditors, inspectors general, all this stuff. And often they would find a lot of wasteful spending.
Oh, yeah.
Especially that IG that oversaw Afghanistan.
Yeah.
That report is astounding, the amount of just outright fraud. And like how the 500,000 Afghan army just collapsed like a cheap suit as soon as we left? Yeah, because it wasn't real.
Right.
And a lot of the people would gain
time,
ranks by essentially just outright graft with all this money sloshing around. Or we'll build a gas station. You're never getting a gas station built.
Yeah.
And you got to wonder how much of this is going out the door. But for years, people that were doing their jobs in the government, finding the ways, trying to create accountability and efficiency, they'd write up these great reports. They get headlines every once in a while, and nothing was ever done.
Nope.
What Elon Musk has provided is actual teeth and understanding. And again, Doge is a repurposed, already congressionally appropriated and approved function under the executive branch. Doge is a partner with all the different department heads. So, for instance, you just saw Marco Rubio get rid of a lot of USAID programs, 83% of them yesterday.
Yep.
Because, well, Doge found this, but Rubio pulled the trigger on the departments he's in charge of, which ultimately the president is in charge of.
Do you think there was a little power struggle with Rubio and Musk? I read that about.
Oh.
So, again, I'm thinking it's the whole trying to break up the bros.
No, I think they understand what they're doing. Yes, they're trying to break them up.
Yeah.
They're trying to create all that nasty negative press to get under their skin and make them second guess one another. Now, again, I've been telling folks I'm reading through or actually listening on audiobook to Walter Isaacson's biography of Musk. And there are many scenes in that book where he does not play well with others, especially when he's paying for stuff.
Sure. Can you blame him?
No, and he's very,
Sure does.
Isaacson also wrote the biography on Steve Jobs, and he finds a lot of parallels where guys are like, they're just a-holes. Like top flight corporate business types who've done very well. It's like, I like to actually treat my people well, but they just like call you effing stupid and stuff to your face. And I don't want to work for that. Or he'll just chew me out for no reason. And I'm like, well, yeah, but it's also that mentality. And what a lot of these people, it's a great part of this book. It's a reoccurring theme is like, maybe that's a package deal. The reason these people who really bear a lot of risk, take big risk, and then do things everybody else thinks is crazy or implausible is because that's part of that personality.
It is.
They don't suffer fools lightly.
They do not.
But I have a sense Elon's not the one paying for this. And in fact, he's taking a lot of the heat. You know, I was trying to say the other day that Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy teaches a lot of things. Don't panic.
Yeah.
You know, remember your towel. Always have your towel. But there's also a key point. The president in that book, there's a whole section early on, I think it's chapter 2, where it's about the role of the galactic imperial president is to distract from actual power.
What's really happening?
Yes. And I think Musk is serving a dual role. He is clearly finding things. He's clearly over the target. He's actually giving teeth to the tiger of where past, say, investigators, auditors, inspectors found stuff but could not take a bite out of any of it. He's actually putting teeth into the tiger of executive authority. He's actually putting teeth into the tiger of a Congress that can cut things through rescission. So he's doing practical things that I think have never been done or hadn't been done like this in 80 years. It's pretty amazing, just the approach itself. But I think Musk is also serving a dual role in that he's distracting a lot of the energy, a lot of the antibody response of the current system that is rotten and addicted at this moment. He's taking most of the heat. And that gives people like Rubio and any other cabinet secretary, and including Trump himself, a lot more room to breathe. And so I suspect behind the scenes it's actually more appreciated. Now, could things happen behind the scenes where people miscommunicate and people are moving fast? And yes, of course. But I think most of the headlines are wishful thinking and trying to prod Musk and others to start fighting each other.
Well, I kind of think the attacks on Musk here lately have been that to try to get him that his companies, I mean, look at Tesla stock. It's been going down steadily since he's been with the Trump administration. So I wonder how many of the stockholders are screaming at him. They want him back at work.
Right.
So I kind of think it's all planned. I really think it's all planned. Yeah, they want him back at Tesla and they want him in the other places, so he's out of this. But this is where I want him.
But what about Social Security and Medicare? He's going to take it away from us. Well, let's listen to apparently the offending clip.
So just to be clear, that's not a Trump administration thing. That's a Biden administration thing. So what we're trying to do is get that number down to a much smaller figure, save money for the American taxpayer, stop money being spent on things that I think very few taxpayers would agree make sense. Transgender animal surgeries, or why are we spending money? Why are American tax dollars being spent on this? The president's gone through a long list of absurd things. Why are the 20 million people who are definitely dead marked as alive in the Social Security database? Why were hundreds of millions of dollars of Small Business Administration loans were given out to people aged 11 and under, according to the Social Security? I mean, these must be some very enterprising 8-year-olds,
And some pretty strong 150-year-olds.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. As the president said, we have an enormous number of people marked as alive who are 160. He didn't know the country was that healthy.
Yeah, maybe we don't need Bobby Kennedy's help at the end of the day. Point is, I think they're actually finding, again, the government's already said this for years under different administrations. There's a lot of waste, in particular in the entitlement programs. And when you cut out wasteful things, like it's going to people who didn't pay in, who are just straight up being fraudulent, they stole somebody's number. That's why somebody who's 150 or somebody who's 8 is getting, say, Small Business Administration loans. And how many other, say, loans and things does the Social Security number get used? How many other government benefits is the Social Security number used beyond just direct Social Security or disability payments? So if you are a beneficiary on Social Security or Medicare, or you're on disability and you're on Medicaid and getting Social Security disability, you should be the first person to want the fraud to stop.
That's what I don't get. What am I missing?
It's literally being stolen from you, and the guy who's trying to stop the steal, you're being taught to accuse him of stealing. It's remarkable. Really is remarkable. But we'll see. 272-9228. I think Musk is playing, again, a dual role. There is a very practical side, the tech support side, but I believe he is the one taking the vast majority of the heat. Better have damn good personal security.
Yeah. Well, we heard him say that on Rogan. We're saying too much.
It's one thing, everybody thinks they're the rebel, that they're Luke Skywalker, rising up and saving his father from the evil empire and the Sith dark side of the Force, yada, yada, yada. But never underestimate that there are often movements in the name of revolution that aren't being violent or rising up because they're on the side of the angels. No, and in fact, when you dig underneath it, they're just resentful and want to destroy something good because it's good.
Yep.
And that is a common theme in history. And especially folks who might be like, hey, look at our history. Look at how the times move. Because we've been put upon, now we have the right to put upon others. Because we suffered, now we have the right to have others suffer at our hands. It's a common thing, again, in human history.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see. I keep saying we'll see because this is very early. Incredibly early. It seems like so much has happened in just this last 2 months.
We're not even in our first 100 days yet, Joey?
No. Now, Trump put on blast, big time.
Yeah.
Thomas Massey.
Saw that today.
Yeah. And this is because Thomas Massey's like, I'm not voting for that.
Which I don't have a problem with Thomas Massey at all.
No. He's like the last principled, consistent guy up there.
I wish we had 100 Thomas Masseys.
And there's a lot of folks, when I looked online, I was heartened because I saw the president's takedown of Massey, but then I saw the online backlash against Trump. And it's not just libertarians. It's all sorts of folks going, no, don't you talk bad about Thomas Massey. But here's what Trump said. He said, thank you to the House Freedom Caucus for just delivering a big blow to the radical left Democrats and their desire to raise taxes and shut our country down. They hate America and all it stands for. That's why they allowed millions of criminals to invade our nation. Sometimes it takes great courage to do the right thing. Congressman Thomas Massey of beautiful Kentucky is an automatic no vote on just about everything, despite the fact that he's always voted for continuing resolutions in the past. That's not true. He should be primaried, and I will lead the charge against him. He's just another grandstander who's too much trouble and not worth the fight. He reminds me of Liz Cheney, Cheney misspelled, before her historic record-breaking fall, in parentheses, loss. The people of Kentucky won't stand for it. Just watch. Do I have any takers? Anyway, thank you again to the House Freedom Caucus for your very important vote. We need to buy some time in order to make America great. Again, greater than ever before. Unite and win. Thomas Massey's, I think, raised probably millions of dollars fundraising off of this attack. No, I think Thomas Massey's going to be all right.
And
he really is
fine.
He was the canary in the coal mine. He's that a-hole who made him come back during COVID and vote.
Yep.
Oh, no.
That's when suddenly I liked the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's like, all right. He's holding him accountable.
It might be frustrating. You might want him to play ball with the team because he only got a 3-seat majority. I get it. But he's the one guy up there that actually has a spine beyond the blowing political winds.
Yep.
So we'll see how it shakes out. In fact, I think they'll get the votes. The fact that they couldn't get something done and need another CR stopgap is absolutely infuriating.
It is.
It
very much is.
But there are some saying, yeah, I'll vote for it, like Tim Burchett. We like that guy.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to vote for it because it actually does cut things.
It's
it
a
actually
start.
cuts spending.
It's a start.
It cuts way too little, according to Burchett, but it does cut
It's
things.
a start.
Right. Chip Roy, even, who's been a fiscal hawk. There are many good people that are going to vote for it. It's just, I like that Thomas Massey, well, he's sassy.
Yeah.
He's incorrigible in many ways.
I don't have a problem with it.
Well, and he's one of those guys that's almost too smart for his own good, like, and self-sufficiently smart, like practically smart, mechanically so, like, and also abstractly, like he really is just a wicked smart MIT
And he's
graduate.
also not one to be pushed around. Sorry, don't go with the flow.
So I think Trump's picking the wrong fight.
I think he is. I think he is, but I also think the way Trump is, the way he picks, I'm guessing in a week or so these guys will be Betsy's.
Yeah, yeah. Well, do you remember we got a front row seat to this in 2022? You recall the Senate race?
Yeah.
Where it was Mo Brooks all the way?
Right.
What did he call Katie Britt at the time? Senator Shelby's assistant?
I believe that was something like that. Yep.
Very dismissive. Like throwing the fire at her. And then all of a sudden, Trump endorses Katie Britt right before the election.
Bow down to kiss the ring of the woman.
Yep. And so we have to see this in Alabama. Trump, at the end of the day, is practical.
Yep.
Just as Senator Britt is very practical. Thomas Massey? He's not always practical, but I think he's got his own district locked down, and he has
he ain't going nowhere.
millions of supporters online.
But do you think he's a guy that'll cut off his nose to spite his face?
Massey?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes you have to.
To make the point.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see. We'll see. But I agree with his point. It's a shame that y'all need a little more time to... Like, it's a shame, the lack of urgency. We're seeing a lot of that urgency out of Musk and Doge.
Nobody else.
Not many others. And that's what makes me the most nervous, is a lot of the folks kissing Trump's butt right now, they really don't mean it.
No, but we do that.
Though, again, my favorite weather vane, Lindsey Graham, not only have I shifted on Ukraine, I don't know if we can do business with that Zelensky anymore.
Right.
Now I love the idea of not just mineral rights and peace, but I love Rand Paul's idea of rescission. Like we just slash through that budget every which way. We stab it, we slash it.
What's wrong with that?
We just rescind so much.
I'm down with that. I don't know if you
so
guys
if the
got
weather vane,
stones.
Lindsey Graham is, maybe the wind is blowing in the right direction. It's just
Up his
sometimes with the traditional Washington media in particular, the traditional corporate media, you're dealing with folks that aren't going to go away quietly. No. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, Joey.
Hey, Robert.
You know I love your show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I call all the time. And I love your show, so I'm not trying to disagree, but the Ontario dude that in Canada.
Oh, yeah, Ford.
Did y'all see that?
Yeah, we played in the first hour.
Right. That's kind of like one of our states, like, say, New York, decided to retaliate against the whole country. I'd like Canada to know we got 50 states, and if you're going to cut power off to 3 of them, we will build that power back up. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
And there's jobs, right? that's jobs coming back, right?
That's more winning.
And then when it comes to Ukraine, yes, they are very brave people, and they fought valiantly with a whole lot of money from a whole lot of people, and they're not in NATO. But that's unfortunate for them. That came out of World War II. You see what I'm saying? You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Because, see, in World War II, Russia lost more people than anybody. Now, I'm not trying to side with Russia. We hate a dictatorship. I hate the way they do what they do. But they have their reasons, too. You see what I'm saying? In other words, they suffered greatly in World War I and World War II, came out of Europe, Germany. And I'm just telling you, that's the looking back. And then China, they're built up so much, they're challenging us. They was a peasant country during World War II. In other words, Japan was slamming down on them.
And they killed millions of Chinese.
They sure did.
Right. And it was America that jumped in at the last minute. Now, granted, during that time, a lot of people wanted America to get in. And then after Pearl Harbor, we did. And all this carnage and all this stuff. But what America did is they built up Japan. In other words, we don't want to be enemies. We built up Europe. We don't want to be enemies. And then now all our friends want to keep a tariff. So now I bring it all the way back to Canada. You're in one part of Canada that delivers power to 3 states of America. And you're going to bow up because you think it's politically expedient to jump up against our president? I'm just telling you, brothers, they don't know the American spirit. The reason I say that is because we will build a plant. We will get that. Now, you just better hope we're not pissed off on top of it. Now, we're friends. We fought together. We love one another. We got relatives back and forth.
Right.
But isn't that just like the Civil War or what have you? But I just want Canada to understand there's 50 states down here, right?
Yep.
And there's one country up there, and you can bow up, you can talk about hockey all you want.
Well, we'll see how it shakes out, Robert, and I appreciate the comment.
Anyway, I'm talking crap, and I wasn't trying to go against y'all. I love your show, and I love thinking about these things.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to give you my thoughts.
Thank you. Appreciate it. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing. And there at Cole Plumbing, well, James and the team can help you with any and all of your plumbing problems. Could be an everyday problem like a clogged drain.
Right.
Low water pressure.
Oh, that's no fun.
Maybe you flush the toilet. It comes up in the shower drain.
No fun, especially if you're the guy in the shower.
Right. Or, that's not fun.
Right.
Oh, it's like, where do I put my feet? Right. That's
right. What do you do there, buddy?
Right there. Or it could be you have a major problem, like a big old leak inside or outside your home. Well, Cole Plumbing has the technology to get in there with minimal discomfort to you in your home and solve the issue. Could be like it's inside the house. They're not going to have to tear up a bunch of drywall, or outside and dig up a huge hole in your yard. No, with precision expertise, they can solve that issue. And of course, they can also help you upgrade. Say to a tankless water heater system, maybe it's time for a new garbage disposal, a good one in the kitchen.
Yep.
Could be you want to put in a taller toilet or a fancier toilet or add new accessories to the shower and the whole bathing and area. They can help you with all of that.
They sure can, Joey.
So y'all call them up today. Make an appointment by calling them at 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole, Joey.
272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. I did enjoy the Musk interview with Larry Kudlow.
Did you?
yesterday. But it wasn't just Musk who was on Kudlow. I think this is, I said Musk sort of plays that dual role of distracting a lot of the attention. I think this guy, Russ Vought, there's some wise folks on the left that are hip to his, influence. He is the director of the Office of Management and Budget.
Okay.
This is Russ Vought on Kudlow right before Musk. Let's listen in together.
I'm confident that it's going to pass the House. It's going to pass the Senate.
This is on that CR that'll stretch things into September with a little bit of a cut.
All that we put forward is a freeze, a continuing resolution to allow the momentum that is ongoing with DOGE and all of the work, the audit that you essentially articulated in your opener, to go on. And we've never seen a momentum like this. We've never seen what you're seeing with the energy and the ingenuity of a new administration coming on board and finding every crevice of waste, fraud, and abuse of all the things that are weaponized against the American people. And I think the country wants to see that go forward, and a government shutdown in this moment would impact that adversely. And I think we're going to be able to see Congress vote that out in the next few days. I'm confident that it's going to pass the House. It's going to pass the Senate.
Well, and that's the strategy. And I would take that guy seriously.
Take it to the bank?
Yeah, I really would. There's also breaking news here, just coming out at the Wall Street Journal. Okay, why isn't this working? Okay, whatever. U.S. to restore military support as Ukraine agrees to ceasefire.
How about that?
The ceasefire plan is contingent on Russia's acceptance.
I believe they are in accepting mood right now.
That's what I mean. A lot of the stuff is sort of backroom conversations that we're not privy to. And even like that headline from the Wall Street Journal, I don't think we're getting the whole story of what's actually going on in those.
You can't.
In those diplomatic
You can't put that out there.
Right. So we'll see. But that's a great step forward.
Yep.
Already agreed to a ceasefire plan.
Like it better than just a week ago. So, yeah.
Tell you what, Lindsey Graham, you just follow that man.
Stop playing with it.
And he'll show you which way the wind is blowing. This is part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And there at Montgomery Men's Health, they're ready to help you fellas out.
Yes.
Could be you're run down and tired all the live long day. You're falling asleep like right after lunch.
That ain't no good.
Yeah, you're never in the mood.
That ain't no good.
Yeah, that's definitely no good. There are actually guys that'll start fights on purpose to avoid failing at intimacy. Knowing you're just not, you got no snap in your turtle anymore. Yeah. You also see them one at weight gain, loss of muscle mass. All this together could especially point to low testosterone.
Yep.
And so just stop by there, make an appointment with the folks at Montgomery Men's Health. They'll conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. Now, what does that mean? It's a quick blood draw, and they ask you a few basic quality of life questions to help understand the symptoms that you're feeling, as I just described. And, of course, if you do have low T, they have treatments there at Montgomery Men's Health that can truly change men's lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym.
Brother.
That's right, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism, and you usually even notice an increased libido. And you can actually book the same day that you call. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Since 1966, Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches has been more than just a place to stay. It's been a place to belong. For children facing hardships through no fault of their own, our ranches provide more than shelter. We offer a warm home, a loving family, and a future filled with hope. With open arms, we welcome these young hearts, giving them the love, structure, and guidance they need to heal, grow, and thrive in a warm Christian environment. Together, we can give Alabama's children the chance they deserve, a chance to dream, to succeed, and to feel truly cherished. Every donation stays within Alabama, directly impacting the lives of the children who need it most. Join us in making a difference. Visit AlabamaSheriff'sYouthRanches.org. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and download our app from your app store. We'd be honored to have you as a part of our mission to lift up Alabama's youth. And remember this, it's easier to build boys and girls than to repair men and women.
Adams Drugs has been committed to the healthcare of the people of the River Region for over 62 years. We value the trust each customer has in our pharmacists, techs, and entire staff. If you have not experienced the difference of Adams Drugs and are not satisfied with the customer service that you get in the big box stores, we invite you to visit any of our locations and see how committed we are to your satisfaction. Adams Drugs offers a variety of services that you will not find in all pharmacies in the River Region. Personalized compounding, area-wide delivery, wellness screenings, immunizations, medication consultations, and specialized packaging, just to name a few. Visit us at our website, adamsdrugs.net, and find the location nearest you. Adams Drugs has 12 convenient locations to serve you. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Adams Drugs is your local Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down, get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where over-the-road dump truck drivers are needed right now. Home twice a week and every weekend, must leave early on Sunday with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Call them now at 855-777-9785.
We've got a couple of nice days to enjoy before some more turbulent times later in the week, especially that Saturday severe weather threat. But for today, just about perfect with a high temperature up to about 74, plenty of sunshine. In fact, more sun tomorrow, Wednesday, with a high of 77. Risk of some scattered showers and thunderstorms by Thursday afternoon as the first of 2 disturbances move in. Friday's dry and warm, high 81. But it's that storm system Saturday that has our undivided attention. Could be a rather significant severe weather event, especially by late Saturday and Saturday night. That would include a tornado threat as well. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More is your low-price leader for everything you need for flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies. For the best prices on luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, flooring installation supplies, and more, shop Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Now I'm thinking, let's go to another topic we haven't talked about enough. And from another voice on the team there in the Trump administration, who's maybe one of my favorites because of my love of wrestling.
Yes.
Linda McMahon, new Secretary of Education, head of the Education Department. And I find that Linda McMahon was always the brains of actually the business side of that company that was worth millions, became a multi-billion-dollar publicly traded company under her guidance. I'll put it that way. Yeah, I think the woman knows.
I think she knows what she's doing, Joey.
And also having to put up with Vince. If you've read any biographies and stuff or watch any documentaries, putting up with that fella. Ooh.
I don't know how they do it. I know a lot of his things a big act.
Well, for instance,
but oof.
Stephanie McMahon is married to Paul Levesque, who's Triple H, who's now running all creative there at WWE, and he's putting on a great product. We watched a little last night, Raw, and it's like it's not bad.
Interesting.
But they were literally about to get real married, like actually married.
Not just
Stephanie and Paul, or Stephanie and Triple H were actually, there was a big wedding. It wasn't going to be televised. Vince wanted it to be on TV and stuff. Well, and they're like, no, we're going to do a normal wedding here.
Yeah.
And so a week or maybe just a few days before the actual wedding, it's a pay-per-view event, and Vince books himself as Mr. McMahon in a street brawl with his daughter, Stephanie, who's also a character on TV. And Linda McMahon apparently told Vince, if you lay one bruise on her, if this shows at all, I'm divorcing you. Like, and she rarely apparently did this. Yeah.
Wow.
No, but this is how crazy the guy is. Like, right before my daughter's getting married, I'm going to wrestle her on national TV. It's like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
He's a wrestler.
Man.
That makes wrestling sense, Joey.
Goodness gracious. Anyway.
But can you imagine the money that would have been made, Joey? That's what he was thinking.
Here's Linda McMahon on CNBC, kind of explaining her mission at the Department of Education. Just wanted to add that color and background a little bit.
Well, I can tell you my focus is as the Secretary of Education. So I am focusing on colleges, universities, K through 12 schools, and that's where we're really putting our focus. The president has been very clear that he wants to make sure that the recent scores that we have seen with our students, when high school students graduating, only 30% of them can read with proficiency. Wow. That means 70% can't. When we look at eighth graders who are not proficient in math or reading, we have to do something about this in our country. And we are spending more per pupil than any other country, and we have the lowest results for that. We're doing something wrong. And clearly we want to take the bureaucracy out of the Department of Education and make sure that our states are prepared to have the tools that they need and best practices to really teach their students. Let's let teachers teach. You know, I think teaching is one of the most noble professions that there is, and I think our teachers need to be paid and supported, protected, and allowed to teach in schools and not be bogged down by red tape. And let them teach, because when they do, they understand their classrooms. The best teaching is that closest to the students, and I think we're going to see improvements in our scores when we get the bureaucracy of the Department of Education out of the way.
Well, and you like to think of education as just the basics, right? Like teach the basics, then find what the kid is passionate about, encourage them in that direction, yada, yada, yada. That's not like the billions that we, you know, the 13, 14 billion we pay for the ETF in this state. I think it's just going to learning the basics and encouraging young minds. That part of it is. But a lot of it, it's kind of like it's a place to put your kids.
It's babysitting.
Yeah, it's a daycare.
It's exactly what it is. And unfortunately, I think we all knew that, and most of us know that. However, not everybody's kids is helping out with that situation. If we got 30 kids in a class, and I've been in those classes, you got 3 or 4 of them that are acting up, you're holding everybody back.
Well, and also here in Alabama, think about the free and reduced breakfast and lunch they serve.
It was a great scam I had going, Joey.
And, like, I mean, you talk about expenditures going through the roof, and that's all coming from the feds. I'd imagine what's going to happen is dismantling the department. Things like the all the outstanding student loans, whatnot, that'll be moved to Treasury. Like the food programs will probably stick around. That'll be moved to another department
I
as
hate
well.
to say it or admit it, but I will say in the states of Alabama, Mississippi, South Carolina, you have to have those food programs.
For the time being, sure.
I just know too many people that, like you said, for the time being, but that's the only meal they get. That's it. And I mean, it was that way when I was a kid too. And a lot of that hadn't changed.
Why?
Priorities. For one, because
Let's
it's there.
be brutal truth here. Why?
For one, because it's there. The opportunity is there.
Yeah.
You can walk your butt up there. You can do that. You can fend for yourself. But a lot of it is it's bad choices. Bad choices by the parents, all the way around. And after you make that bad choice for a time or two, and your kid's still there, everything seems to be okay. We just make that bad choice again.
I see what you mean. I just think it's unconscionable. And, you know, I'd like to, despite having this public job, I think privacy is very important. I wouldn't, unless I knew deep down or knew the details, accuse anybody of not truly loving their kids and whatnot. But if you're not taking the time to save enough to provide basic sustenance to your child, that's a bad sign.
Remember the 13-year-old that was driving around the car?
Yeah.
I mean, that's fact.
Well, and maybe in a sort of how I feel about it, I love my kid, but your actions don't show it. And it's a tough problem. It makes me go, like, why? Genuinely, why? And some of it is, it's a system of dependency, and people get used to it.
Yep.
But I think it's a much deeper issue.
It is. And I don't care what people say, oh, you got food stamps, you got this. Look, I see put food stamps and everybody's seen it. They get traded out for cash on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
They get traded for everything else under the sun. It's a great program with a good heart, but people have learned to take advantage of it.
Of course.
And we'll never, unfortunately, we'll never do anything about it because we're so afraid of hurting that one person that absolutely needs it. And that's with me, with the school lunch program. I was on that program. I saw people regular that needed that.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them, that was the only meal they got that day. So I can't, with a good heart, ever try to take that away.
But we'll see. A lot of changes are going to be made. There were a lot of folks early on when a lot of these programs started to be stood up in the early progressive era that by creating a impersonal national bureaucracy, you're taking away a lot of local initiatives.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And a lot of local support systems that are helping people get by. And by trying to bureaucratize it, yeah, you might, on the margin at the initial beginning, help a person out who wasn't getting help before, but you create a system of dependency and you rob the blood. You drain the blood out of those local dynamic safety nets by creating this one big national safety net.
And a lot of it's generational, too. You see that.
Yep. Well, you're not going to change everything in one day.
Nope.
272-9228. This part of the program, in fact, the entire hour, brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. Kim and Madeline are ready to help you out.
Yes, they are.
Say you've got a friend who's a real estate agent that wants you to go buy a 22-acre plot of land with a 3-2 on it.
That sounds like a good friend.
And you don't know, just sitting there as he's prodding you to go buy this place, how much you can actually afford.
Right, you even qualify for it.
Yeah, so why not call them up at 567-4223 and get pre-approved?
I think that's the smartest idea someone can do, Joey.
See how much home you can afford.
Yep.
And then you can go on into the market and they'll walk with you every step of the way.
Yep.
And
honestly, just because they can say, Joey, you can afford a $400,000 house.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that's what you got to go buy.
No.
But it tells you what you can afford.
Right.
So maybe they say, hey, Joey, you can afford that $400,000 place, but you're like, my comfort level is about $250,000.
I don't want to be house poor.
Right.
Right. I want to have some extra cash flow after the mortgage and overhead. But they can walk with you through the process too, like inspections, appraisals, and no surprises there on closing day. And if you're looking for a great refinance deal, especially as things start to soften, maybe interest rates will continue to come down. If you're looking for a great refinance deal, they can help you there at Alabama Home Mortgage. They recently helped a listener who's a veteran save him $400 a month.
$400 a month.
So if you're stuck under a mountain of credit card debt in particular, or any sort of situation where you're feeling the financial squeeze and you have equity built up in your home, at least start the conversation with Kim and Madeline there at Alabama Home Mortgage. See what possibilities and options and strategies are out there for you to get on sound financial footing. That number, 567-4223. Again, that's 567-4223. Or you can always apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man. Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Are you happy with your IT support company? Do they resolve your company's computer issues quickly, or do they leave you down and frustrated? You need your computers working and problems resolved quickly and permanently. GTI is different. GTI has a high standard of affordably supporting and protecting businesses like yours since 1999. Call them now at 819-4650, 819-4650, or visit gtinow.com.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228.
Hey, for the record,
yeah,
if he didn't have Elon money, none of that would have happened.
What do you mean?
The ladies.
Oh, yeah.
Just so we're clear. I saw him back in the day.
Yeah, and not to overstate it and go into full bro podcast mode, but I think if you're a guy and you're like, I want women, the number one thing is status.
Oh, yeah.
Now, money's a part of that, but number one thing, status. So it's one thing if you're rich, women tend to like that, but everybody tends to like that, honestly.
Yeah.
But if you also have status on top of that, like you made your money in an incredible way, or say you're an elected official, or like
got some name ID.
Yeah, you're famous in a certain way.
Yeah,
that usually plays pretty well. And it doesn't even have to be you're world famous or nationally famous. Maybe you just got status over at the State House or something. I don't know.
Or those influencers. Good Lord, I've seen some of them guys. How do they get the ladies? They do 30-second videos.
I know. Well, they're funny and whimsical and.
Not after a few of them, you're like, wait a minute.
And he listens to my stories.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
He's tuning
and then
out,
you got these other sad bros like, if I just pump iron a little bit more, the ladies will come a-running. I don't think that's how it works. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey.
One a day, Robert.
Yeah. I've seen those guys. This is before your time, though, Joey. There used to be the ads in the back of comic books.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be a guy kicking sand and a guy's face on the beach. And if you ordered this product, you could go back in like 2 weeks and you could beat that guy up. Laugh now. I'm sure the guy who sold that has multi-millions of dollars.
How about people that are selling people sugar pills and it'll make your bigger?
How do you know they're sugar, Joey? They taste sweet or something?
No, I've never had that issue.
Say you did. You talked about the pill.
No, I just remember seeing those what was it, Extends?
Oh, yeah.
Remember those commercials,
Dude,
those infomercials?
Busted. Yeah, those were the ones. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was just sugar
Those
pills.
were the ones. Yeah, they got big time busted.
Yeah, and it was always like the creepiest guys with hair plugs.
It was the creepiest commercial.
Yeah. Yes. And it's like always the wife going, "I'm very happy now." Oh, by golly, gee, like why don't we get a lady from Minnesota? I'm very happy now.
I'm sure they tested it. It tested well. Yeah, I do remember the creepies that would.
Are there any other scam products that have come and gone?
Not well. I mean, I think of like all the ShamWows and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know, man.
Did you see one of the ShamWow guys was on Kill Tony?
Oh no,
the other day. It was just actually funny.
The original one, he had a real tragic.
Not that guy, the guy who replaced him.
He was really on Kill Tony?
Yeah, and he was funny as hell.
Oh, I've got to check that out. Think of that. Sea monkeys. That was before your time.
No, I think were you the little aquarium?
Yeah,
place? Yeah. That wasn't real.
I think it was just algae that grew in the tank over time. Like, I see it swimming. I think they were shrimp, actually, in reality. But yeah, they came in a packet. And,
sea monkeys.
Sea monkeys. That's what it was. Dude, they sold you on it. They had a whole village and everything.
Well, and then you have novelty things that weren't really a scam because, like, a pet rock.
Pet rock. Back in the 70s, that was a huge thing.
It's not really a scam. It's just stupid. Or the Chia Pet?
What about, all right, going to your generation here, Pokemon. Let's go capture some Pokemons.
Pokemon's fun, man. I have fond memories of Pokemon.
I bet you do. I have fond memories of watching my sea monkeys. That I don't think were nothing but algae.
Well, there's more to the Pokemon thing. Actually, and can you imagine, like, your dad, you're telling your kids, stop playing those stupid video games, get everywhere, and then all of a sudden he wins, like, the International Pokemon Stadium Tournament or whatever, and you're like, you made how much money?
I do remember, because Justin used to play games. I was like, there's no future in that. And then one day he showed me, like, one of them gaming magazines, this kid that won all this money. I was like, holy crap, play that game, boy. Get on that.
Mm-hmm. No, my mother got rid of whole binders of early Pokemon cards at some yard sale when I was off in college. And I'm like, maybe it wasn't a first edition Shadow Charizard worth $1 million, but it might have been worth a few $100, Mom. Like, what is... Come on. Come it.
Yeah, that'd be a bummer. At least she didn't sell you Bitcoin.
Right. See, I don't see, like, the novelty, like cards, like Beanie Babies, even any of those sort of things.
Babies. That was a scam, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you there's still some in good condition that are worth a lot of money.
Sure. But worth who? To me or you, it's worth nothing. It's the value is in the person.
Yeah, but you got to go to, what's the big auctions, like Golden? Yeah, and they sell all sorts of stuff. Memorabilia is a crazy industry. I don't think I could work in it, but it's a very interesting. There's always a story behind every little thing.
I think that sells it better. If like, say I got an autograph ball of Pete Rose. Well, everybody and their brother's got one. But if I've got a story that, hey, we were at this place when he signed it, and suddenly that's got value to it.
Yeah. Yeah, add a little bit to it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we got to hit this top of the hour break. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the White House is on board with the House GOP funding bill aimed at preventing a partial government shutdown. Republicans needed overwhelming support from their members on a procedural vote, and they got it. They'll now try to pass the bill and send it on to the Senate. The Trump administration will immediately lift its suspension of military aid to Ukraine and its intelligence sharing with Kyiv. The administration statement emerged at talks between Ukraine and the United States in Saudi Arabia. A storm system expected to pour heavy rain on western states later this week before rumbling into the central U.S. It could spawn tornadoes in the south. The system could also dump heavy snow across parts of the Great Plains and upper Midwest. This is SRN News.
Sleep Financial Group is not a law firm. Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare, and I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please Don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-613-5454. 800-613-5454. 800-613-5454.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by MPM Feed and Seed. It's time to get those gardens ready. From seeds to plants to fertilizer, MPM has what you need. Shop MPM Feed and Seed in Prattville, 1313 Highway 31 North. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, Saturdays, 8 to 1.
Rich Thomas Weather. We've got a couple of nice days to enjoy before some more turbulent times later in the week, especially that Saturday severe weather threat. But for today, just about perfect with a high temperature up to about 74, plenty of sunshine. In fact, more sun tomorrow, Wednesday, with a high of 77. Risk of some scattered showers and thunderstorms by Thursday afternoon as the first of two disturbances move in. Friday's dry and warm, high 81. But it's that storm system Saturday that has our undivided attention. Could be a rather significant severe weather event, especially by late Saturday and Saturday night. That would include a tornado threat as well. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
1819 News.
The City Council for Hanceville held a meeting this past Monday night, and the City Council voted unanimously for the rebuilding of the entire Hanceville Police Department. This comes after 5 officers and an officer's wife were all indicted for conducting a criminal enterprise out of that department. The city will hire an entirely new crew, from police chief to officers to dispatchers. Coleman County Sheriff Matt Gentry says his department will offer any resources, policies, and procedures that they use in order to help the new chief build that police department from the ground up. The search for a new Hanceville police chief is now underway. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
Donald Trump Jr., the oldest son to the president, will be the keynote speaker at an upcoming dinner that will be held by the Alabama Republican Party. The dinner will be held this coming April 3rd in Birmingham. Trump Jr. was actively involved in the presidential campaign of his father just last year and is credited with influencing Donald Trump to choose J.D. Vance as his running mate and now vice president. The Sheffield City School Administration has approved a new program regarding cell phones, students, and teachers starting this fall. The school will implement the Yonder program that puts students' cell phones in personal pouches when they arrive at school, and they will not be opened until the end of the day. The Yonder program has been implemented in over 1,000 schools, with surveys showing positive results for students when it comes to their engagement in the classroom and academic performance. I'm Andrea Tex.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. My last message was the report for 2024 real estate market in the River region. According to industry experts, they predict for 2025, we will have more inventory to choose from for our buyers, more buyers for sellers to show their houses to. Here are 5 tips for buyers or sellers in 2025. Number 1, sellers need to price their home at fair market value with the help of your realtor. Number 2, buyers need to be pre-qualified by a local lender prior to shopping for a house to save them time. Number 3, use a certified residential specialist or CRS to purchase or sell your home. Less than 2% of realtors nationwide have this designation. You need an expert now. 4, use someone with 48 years of real estate experience to help you with your largest investment. Number 5, quit waiting. Now's the time to buy or sell. Call Bo Goodson at 221-2883, the Goodson Group, or 551-0225.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader, trusted co-host here in the studio. And I'm just looking at some headlines.
Any good ones?
Just seeing what's come out recently at 1819news.com.
All right.
And the top headline is Tuberville says on possible governor bid, quote, it all has to do with how I can help the state of Alabama more. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Anthony Daniels also saying he's urging the legislature. Of course, Anthony Daniels was on this program not long ago.
Enjoyed having him here.
He urges the legislator to extend the overtime tax exemption. Quote, ridiculous for us to just sit on our hands. I agree.
I agree 100%.
No, and looking at it, I mean, it depends, I guess, on how much surplus you think we need.
I'm working overtime just to keep my family fed. I could give a crap about your state surplus.
Right.
I mean, right. And obviously, you could give a crap about me.
Well, and you got to think, okay, say the gas tax costs you $300 million,
okay,
just statically scored. Then the question becomes the art of dynamically scoring is how much are you going to get that back? You can get 20% of that back? I mean...
You're not. How are you going to get that back?
Oh, no. Like, for instance, if more people keep their overtime pay...
You'll get 100% of that back.
Well, you'll get a lot back, yeah.
Just look at
not
people.
100% necessarily.
Most people that work that kind of overtime, they have a lifestyle or they have something specifically for that money. It's going right back into the economy.
So if you give relief on groceries and on overtime in particular, I think the idea from Danny Garrett and from the Republicans in the legislature is more, okay, let's get rid of the indexing on the grocery tax. Let's just cut the next % off.
Cut it off.
But I think they also want to do an expanded standard deduction for income taxes, which I think is better than a rebate because it's more structural and it's every year moving forward.
Yeah.
But then I look at that and I'm like, why not just keep the overtime thing off? But if you give that relief on overtime, continue that relief on overtime, you give more relief on grocery taxes, you might not get back 100% of the so-called loss in static scoring, but you're going to get back a big chunk of that through all other sales taxes.
And not only that, how many businesses would come to Alabama because of the overtime? They'll see that many people, they'll actually let people keep their overtime money down there.
And it helps with the labor participation rates.
Big time.
Yeah.
Again, from working at Hyundai and other places, you knew at about 52 hours a week that no matter what you did, that was the best money to make because of the taxes. Anything other than that, you're kind of giving away more than what you felt was worth your time.
There you go. And then another headline here at 1819news.com, AG Commissioner Rick Pate considers lieutenant governor race in 2026 after Tuberville floats run for governor. Governor Kay Ivey Sugar is term limited.
Thank God.
Alabama Commissioner of Agriculture and Industries Rick Pate was previously considering a run for governor, but told 1819 News on Tuesday he'd likely run for a different statewide office if Tuberville does run for governor. You got to wonder, okay, Tuberville says I'm staying in the Senate, so then is it going to be Ainsworth, Will Ainsworth, the current lieutenant governor, and Rick Pate? That's a heck of a competition.
That's
I don't
a good
mind
one.
that.
I think there'll be one more in there, too.
And you were just seeing, I saw it yesterday and today, Will Ainsworth putting out a lot more videos, pushing to widen I-65.
I loved it.
And he was calling for cutting taxes like now, do it now.
Yep, I loved it.
I like that stuff. But here's what Pate recently told Caleb Taylor at 1819news.com, quote, we still haven't gotten to a point where I've decided to do anything. I haven't hired anybody. Just thinking about it. It looked like it was making sense. I was thinking about governor. But then I talked to Tuberville. We were both on the same flight to Washington, D.C., and it got delayed. He and I walked off for about 30 minutes, and he told me he was probably running. He told me in January, yeah, I'm probably 50-50. That's such a good line of BS. Yeah, I'm probably 50-50.
It's like not BS.
You didn't tell me anything.
It's not BS. I'm 50-50.
I'm 50-50. Like, wait, so
I could go either way.
We could flip a coin right now, Coach, if you like.
I could go either way.
Then 2 weeks ago, this is again Rick Pate talking. 2 weeks ago, Tuberville said, yeah, I'm probably running. Yeah, I wouldn't run against him, Pate said at Tuberville. The name recognition he has, plus he's done a good job as far as being conservative in the position he's taken. I thought there was a lane there. It's not like I'm even disappointed because I'm not the kid who grew up wanting to be governor or president. This kind of just fell in my lap being commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and his landscaping businesses are very well known. You'll see he's all around the state, I believe.
I believe you're right.
Yeah. Pate was first elected as Commissioner of Agriculture and Industries in 2018. He goes on saying, my wife and I really went into it saying the kids are out of college, they're doing well, let's put $100,000 of our money into this and let's travel the state. I think this will be fun as heck to do for about a year. Meet people. It's kind of gets ugly towards the end when it looks like you're going to win. The only way not to be criticized is to look like you're going to lose and everybody leaves you alone. That's true.
Strong words there, buddy.
That's true.
Pretty true.
But he hadn't made any big plans. Pate went on saying, I told Coach Tuberville, I'm not disappointed at all because I never thought that was my life's goal. I might do something else. I did tell Wes Allen because I had told him I was not going to run for lieutenant governor. He was here. It was before I had the conversation with Tuberville. We had a board of registrars meeting here, and so he was in the building, and I told him to hang around, let's talk. I told him if Tuberville does run, I guess I'm going to run for lieutenant governor, but I'll wait until May to see what Tuberville does. I just feel like I've got something left to give. No decision has been made. I haven't hired anybody, talked to the consultants, anything. Well, he's talking to some people. Clearly, he hadn't hired anybody. Right. I believe him there. Oh, it's all shaping up early. This seems so early.
Yeah, but I think it's early just so they could shake out.
Yeah. Well, and he's like, I don't want to run against that guy.
Right. But you got still put my name out there.
Right. I wonder what Ainsworth does if Tuberville. I guess the signal Ainsworth put out there is like he picture of himself having just finished a marathon next to a Wheaties box.
I took it as he's going to run.
Yeah, he's going to compete against Tuberville. Yeah, that'll be a heck of a thing. We'll see. Well, and then the question is, and Tuberville's right about this, like, what is he actually going to do for the state? It's one thing taking very conservative positions and fighting the good fight on the national scene. Here's a quote, Tuberville talking to Jeff Poore saying, quote, I haven't had a lot of time to even think about it, other than the fact a lot of people are calling both ways. Here's what I tell people. I want to do what's best for the people in our state. I'm not doing it for me or anything other than I want to give back. And I told you this. This is my service to the country. And whichever way it takes me, I'll work with my family. I'll work with people up here. I'll talk with the president. I'll talk with people back home, the leaders back home. I want to do what's best, said Coach. Obviously, I'm not the answer to everything, but I am a fighter. And again, if my calling is to run for governor, I'll do that. If my calling is to stay here, I'll do that. But again, it's just me making the decision, not just me making the decision. Other people will be involved in that, and hopefully we make this right decision. Again, it all has to do with how I can help the state of Alabama more. That's what this is all about. One way or another, we'll make a decision here in the short future and get on with life.
Me personally, hot take. As of today, I'd rather him stay where he's at.
Yeah.
I like what he's doing. He's around good folks. And I'm not Will Ainsworth. I don't have a problem with him at all right now.
Yeah, and I don't want to see people in this state who are well-versed in the dark arts of politics and campaigns start to go to work on Tuberville.
I don't. And plus, Tuberville, nothing against the man. I think the world of him. But Will Ainsworth seems to right now have his pulse on what Alabama needs. And I think Coach would have to be told what Alabama needs. And like you said, the dark arts there.
And we'll see. So, again, folks, at 2 o'clock every day, weekday, 1819 News updates their top stories there. And that's what I was just looking over, making sure we hadn't missed anything as we were going about this fine day. Soon, the House of Representatives in the United States Congress is going to vote on the bill to avoid a government shutdown.
It just angers me every time I hear this. So that means somebody didn't do their job. So instead of holding folks accountable, we're just
Right.
going to make a big to-do, wait a couple of days, and then do kind of half-ass what we were supposed to do the whole
Well,
time.
we need to keep that momentum going. The Doge momentum is the argument. Let Doge keep finding a bunch of stuff. Let's actually get our ducks in the row, and we'll have some big rescission vote and big budget cut in September. That's what they're promising. I mean, I'll believe it when I see it.
Right. Thank you.
Honestly, I think you need the permanent tax cuts like right now. Like right now. Yeah, the markets need a little bit of certainty.
They need a little bit of boost. And it's funny, even in the real estate market, it's crazy, but it varies. Here lately, it's varying week to week. It literally has varied week to week.
Really?
Yeah.
Week to week.
Week to week. Because people work on emotions. A lot of people listen to the news. So, yeah, we're buying a new house, but I'm not sure about interest rates, or I'm going to wait. And it affects everything. It really does. A lot of people were going to, their whole thing was, I want to see Trump get him elected. I want to see Trump get in the White House. We get a boost. We get some things going. But I can see it plateauing again. And when I'm talking to people, they're like, well, I'm kind of unsure about this, or I'm unsure of what, like Social Security. I'm unsure what's going to happen with that.
Right. But as far as the whole strategy of breaking up Elon and Trump.
Yep.
Well, you said earlier Trump was going to buy a Tesla?
Yes. Thought I read it.
I think they just did it in a big photo op and impromptu press conference.
Of course.
Let's check this out.
What is your message to President Trump? Buying a new car, while there are some folks who will see this clip at home and they are struggling with their retirement account down at the moment, uncertainty about work ahead.
I think they do great. I think we're our country to do this. We had to go and do this. They've taken away, other countries have taken away our business. They've taken away our jobs. I did it initially very strongly against, as you know, China and some others in the first term. And it was a very successful term. We had no inflation. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country. And then we had COVID, which we had to straighten out. So I didn't want to be doing anything with respect to other countries at that time. And we did a great job with it. We handed the stock market over. It was higher than it ever was. And think of that, higher than it ever was to that point before. And nobody thought that was even possible. We did a great job. But we had the greatest economy in history. This economy, in my opinion, is going to blow it away. But what I have to do is I have to get the workers back. I have to get the factories open. We have 90,000 factories and plants are closed from what you had just prior to NAFTA, which is not very long ago. 90,000, think of it, 90,000 factories and plants are closed from what it was. And it's just not right. So, and we gave it away. Presidents before me gave it away, and I could name every one of them. But they gave it away, and we're taking it back. We're taking our jobs back.
Interesting. I wanted to see more about the car.
Yeah. Did he buy a truck or a car?
Here, this shows more of it. Oh, that's a pretty cool car right there.
Tell you ought to be looking into
that one. I like the look of that one.
You need to be looking into that.
Yeah, well, these days, though, with all the vandalism, who knows what's coming next?
You got insurance, don't you?
Now, yeah. Right.
Don't you love that? You insured, you got no worries.
Right. But here's Trump being asked, standing next to his brand new Daddy Got a Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
Great Wolfpack song. He's being asked about this breaking news that came out this afternoon, just an hour ago or so, of Ukraine agreeing to a ceasefire.
But very importantly, and I said it, Ukraine, ceasefire. Ukraine, ceasefire. Just agreed to a little while ago. Now we have to go to Russia and hopefully President Putin will agree to that also, and we can get this show on the road. We can get this horrible war where 2,000-3,000 soldiers a week, every week, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 sometimes. I get the reports, and they're not American soldiers. They're Ukrainian and they're Russian. But people are being killed outside of that. People are being killed in the cities as things explode throughout the cities. And we want to get that war over with. So I think it's a very big, I think it's a big difference between the last visit you saw at the Oval Office and this. So that's a total ceasefire. Ukraine has agreed to it, and hopefully Russia will agree to it. We're going to meet with them later on today and tomorrow. and hopefully we'll be able to wipe out a deal. But I think the ceasefire is very important. If we can get Russia to do it, that'll be great. If we can't, we just keep going on, and people are going to get killed. Lots of people.
I kind of think he's already talked to Russia.
Yeah. Again, I think a lot of this stuff is going on in the back room. We're just not privy to.
You just sit down for a minute. Let me get these guys, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Now, here's Trump responding to the Ontario Premier, Doug Ford,
Oh,
who we played earlier.
Yeah.
Let's hear it from Trump's own self.
Already Canada, and I respect very much. As you know, there's a very strong man in Canada who said he was going to charge a surcharge or a tariff on electricity coming into our country. He has called and he said he's not going to do that. Okay, he's not going to do that. And it would have been a very bad thing if he did. And he's not going to do that, so I respect that. But we were just informed that he's not going to do that.
I wonder if it was Ford, GMC, and Chevrolet that called him and said, I can assure you he's not going to do that, Mr. President.
Yeah, he's not going to do that. Now, and I kind of love this. It's just Elon with little X. Is
Yeah, that in there?
And the brand new red Tesla.
That's a sharp-looking car, man.
Sharp-looking car, indeed.
They really are.
But here's Trump on the price of eggs.
But we didn't have these problems. I had no inflation. I had a great economy. He gave you high prices. You couldn't buy bacon. You couldn't buy anything. And also, I inherited a situation with eggs. The price of eggs was through the roof. Well, now the price of eggs has come down a lot. Interest rates have come down.
By the way, Elon cracked up at the same time. It's Trump sometimes it's just funny. I don't even know if he intends
just the way he puts it. Eggs.
The price of eggs has come down a lot. Interest rates have come
Hold on,
down.
I get back in a moment.
Situation with eggs. The price of eggs was through the roof. Well, now the price of eggs has come down a lot. Interest rates have come down. Gasoline prices have come down. It's all coming down. It's all a beautiful thing. I can do it the right way or the wrong way. We're doing it the right way. And I have tremendous confidence in this country and the people of this country. Tremendous confidence. Much more so than if I sat back for 4 years and had a good time in the Oval Office.
He seems in good spirits.
He sure does. Sure does.
Putting on a good face despite the markets bleeding out.
Yeah, but...
Oh, wow. Okay, this just updated. This is a full look at the car. Yeah, this is, I think, the Tesla sports car. Ooh, I like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and this whole idea of, like, what about the struggling people? It's cool.
What do you do? Give him a choice of red or blue?
I guess so.
There's another one right behind it.
Let's hear this clip.
Let me get in this second. You want my notes? Yeah. They gave me notes. I said, I'm not Biden. I don't need notes.
Let me get in this sucker.
Let me get in this second.
Man, I wonder what edition that is. Like, wow.
The presidential edition, Joey.
It's a badass car right there.
It is. It looks good. It's just funny there's a red and a blue one. It didn't bring in one. It's your choice.
Yeah, your choice, Mr. President. Which one you want to be set up with?
And like you said, as far as people say, well, what about people that can't afford groceries? And dude, he's the president of the United States. He's a multi-billionaire. He can buy whatever he wants whenever he wants.
Oh, here's him actually getting in that sucker.
Oh. He's a tall glass of water, too, now.
Wow. That's beautiful. This is a different panel than I've had. Everything's computer.
Yeah. It's very clean interior on those Teslas. I love this.
I still would love him to go cut some Brodies.
Okay, like
Start busting donuts.
As the corporate media and the left is trying to break them up, they're just doing the biggest buddy comedy of all time. Like buddy romp across the country sort of thing. Seriously.
Let me show you this new car.
That's beautiful.
Can you start it?
Should I?
You notice it was a can you start it.
You don't want me to drive it, do you?
I saw Biden do a.
I'll tell you, it could.
Very
easy to drive. That's. You're the only one that saw it.
It's like driving a golf cart, basically.
Very simple.
It's very simple. So it's literally like a golf cart that goes really fast. There's no gears.
This is really amazing. It's really amazing. Let's take a look at that.
Well, when they said Trump was going to buy a Tesla, well, they'd made a whole thing of it. That's a badass car right there. Fantastic looking car.
It is a good looking car, man.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And if you're looking for the right equipment for the job, fleas, ants, termites, wasps, mosquitoes, there's no problem at Pest Pro. They have the tools and expertise to keep your yard completely pest free. And you need to ask them about their 1-year warranty on ant treatments. Because when they handle a job there at Pest Pro Services, they do it the right way the first time.
They sure do.
They do it right the first time. You can always call or even text them today. If you don't want to do a phone call, just want to text them. That's 265-9990. That's 265-9990. When you want to know, call a pro, Pest Pro Services. They can help you with any and all of your pest control needs. And again, they always have the right equipment for the job as well as the insight and expertise. This ain't their first rodeo. And it's great to just hop on Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces so you can see not only the tips and tricks that they'll give you for dealing with things like termite season, but they're also doing their Pest Pro Services Player of the Week.
That's right, Joey.
4 days ago, it came out that Bryant Morrison, senior at Macon East Academy,
Macon East,
named all-tournament team at the Fort Dale tournament, went 4 for 6 with 2 doubles, 6 runs scored, 4 RBIs, 4 walks.
Dadgum.
Wow. Wow. That's beautiful. And also a shout out to Izzy Warwick, senior at Alabama Christian Academy. Even this Catholic boy can appreciate a great ACA player. Broke the ACA record with 218 career runs, 50 doubles, and 50 career wins in the circle. Wow.
That's pretty good.
Last week, she hit .545 average. And pitched 26 innings with just 4 earned runs and 40 strikeouts, and just signed with Northwest Florida State. Beautiful. I love it.
Me too.
So y'all check out Pest Pro Services today, and be sure to tell them, however you get in touch, that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Let's try line 1 again. You're on the air. Who's this?
It's Charles the First.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Joey. Hey, Eddie. How y'all doing?
Wonderful. How you doing, buddy?
Really great day. I've been out working in the yard listening to you fellers and everybody at the same time. Eddie, you were talking last week and today a little bit about the housing market.
Uh-huh.
And older people still being in their homes and younger people can't get homes and the cost and all that.
Yes, sir.
I don't know a lot about that, but I remember something. I'm 64 years old, and you see if you remember what I'm talking about here. I want to say it was the late 60s or the early 70s. Jim Walter Homes.
Jim Walter Homes.
You know what? Now, didn't that? Let's say that Trump got the building supplies down.
Yeah.
Could we do something like they did back then? Because wasn't that a thing that gave new homeowners houses, right? You could add to those houses.
You could add to them. They were, if I remember right, they would come out and build. You had a selection of property or houses you could build, but they would come build it on your land. And I want to say it was early '90s, maybe mid '90s. It's kind of the last time I seen them. But I do see Jim Walter Homes on the regularly. Like just out there, out in the neighborhoods and things like that. I don't know if that could help. One of the biggest things, honestly, that could help is lowering interest rates. When interest rates came down, housing market, even during COVID, I was selling more houses during COVID when we were during lockdown than any time before. It was amazing, amazing. But it's interest rates, and it's also lack of inventory. Anything that comes on the market now that's a great property sells usually typically under 30 days. But they're just not, because like you were saying, a lot of older people are staying in their house. They're not downsizing. A lot of other people just aren't moving. People that need to upgrade, they're not moving because of interest rates. So everybody's kind of sitting still. For the housing market to move, people have to move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that, and I thought about that, and I thought, well, wonder if that could be something that could be done. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That type thing come back around again, because it just seemed like up here in North Alabama, where I'm at, back in the day, like I want to say the 70s, there were just a whole lot of them still exist, got built upon, and it let the younger persons have a home.
Yeah.
But I was also going to tell you, you were talking about meeting that first girlfriend? Did you say it was in Turkey?
Actually, that's a girlfriend. Yeah, one of my first, I guess you'd say, love of my life. I met in
Yeah,
Turkey.
and you were talking about Air Supply.
Yes.
And well, guess who I met? Not only did I went into the studios with, because I wrote an album called Night Follows the Heart, and J.L. Wallace, both at Fame Recording Studios and at his home studio, he's passed away now.
Yeah.
Helped me with those songs. You know,
Wow.
I never released it. But his name's J.L. Wallace, and he wrote Even the Nights Are Better.
Yep, he sure did. I
and
do.
he wrote Touch Me When We're Dancing for the Carpenters,
Yep.
and a bunch of Jerry Reed songs, and a real nice guy that really helped me there. Now, Joey, maybe you could help me someday get music to these songs I wrote.
No, sure.
Yeah, Joey's got music, that's for sure.
You guys would really like them. They're kind of like 80s pop country, kind of like Alabama singing
Oh, love it.
Dixieland Delight thing.
Yeah.
That's the kind that they are, you know. And
Right.
I even wrote them during that time. And he told me they were really catchy, commercial, and I just had to have somebody hear 'em. But I appreciate y'all letting me tell y'all that. I thought you'd find that interesting. And
Sure
thanks
do,
for
man.
Thanks for the information about the housing there.
No problem. Thank you for calling, Charles.
Everybody
Love
have a
hearing
great
from
day.
you.
Appreciate it.
See you, brother.
272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. Trying to figure out what Tesla did he just... Well, yeah, I think it's the new Tesla Roadster.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I didn't know it was this good.
That bottom line up there.
Department of Education employees told to vacate by 6 p.m. All right, Linda McMahon's already
Yep.
working. No, I'm just looking at the Roadster.
Oh, the Roadster's awesome,
You want to
Joey.
guess don't look at the screen, the 0 to 60?
I couldn't see it if I had to. I'm going to guess maybe 3 seconds, 3.5.
Lower.
Really? 2?
Lower.
You kidding me?
1.9.
They come with a neck brace?
0 to 60.
Because you're going to need a neck brace,
250
dude.
plus top speed, 620 mile range. Now, you should probably, for real range, do 80% of that. But
yeah, I've heard even less than that. But yeah.
especially if you're in cold weather. But I think, I don't know if
That's
Trump
a good-looking
just
car,
bought,
though, man.
That's
Man,
a
that's a good-looking
badass
car.
I mean, I'm sure it's $100,000.
That's what I
car.
wonder what the price would be on that one. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Woo. I like that.
Me too.
Well, I miss my little Roadster, my BMW.
Well, you could
Well, then
replace it
what?
with that one, Joey. I think you should.
You got another stream of income that I can hop onto?
I mean,
I'm doing all right. I'm not doing that well.
Man, that's a good looking car. Yeah, but there's federal government rebates involved. You'll be fine, Joey.
And it wasn't just Trump apparently buying a Tesla with Musk right next to him. It's also Musk making a new pledge.
Oh?
Let's listen into this.
I have an announcement to make that I think would be helpful. I want to say, as a function of the great policies of President Trump and his administration, and as an act of faith in America, Tesla is going to double vehicle output in the United States within the next 2 years.
Double?
Big deal. That's great. Thank you. And by the way, he makes one car. This one I don't understand. This one I don't want, but that's okay. Without a steering wheel. It comes out next year, right?
Yes.
No, the
Explain
taxi.
that, please.
Yes,
That's crazy.
The Cybercab starts production in Texas next year, and it's self-driving. We have so much confidence in the self-driving nature of it that it'll actually not have a steering wheel. It will not have pedals. It'll either self-drive or not drive at all, but it'll self-drive.
And I'm going to pass on that particular.
Yeah.
No, what's amazing is I told you off air, I might have said it on air. I'm working my way audiobook through Walter Isaacson's biography of Musk, and it's kind of amazing because I'm at the point in the book where Tesla is having a lot of trouble. A lot.
Well, you remember, I remember the struggles they had.
And to see where it is now, here's what I mean. Like, folks thought he was insane that he was ever going to get these things called gigafactories.
Yes.
Or just basic resources, natural resources go on one side and cars come out the other.
That's
They thought he
exactly
was
right.
insane. And now he's got a huge one there in Austin. I think there's one, in Germany?
Yep.
Yeah, and these things are incredible. Like, where you're everything in-house. And it's just, I don't know. I would encourage everybody to check out that biography. Because it's not just, it's certainly not just praise of Musk. It has a lot of stuff in there that shows the
there's
darkness
some,
inside
some
this guy.
uncomfortable
and-
times in there, yeah.
And the struggles that he kind of goes through, and how he'll just go, what do they call it, demon mode, like where he's not a very nice person to be around. But I also like this idea of, okay, people who are innovators, who can do, who have the balls to take risks, for better or for worse, are actually helping lead the country. I think they're two peas in a pod, honestly.
Right now, I think they're great.
And them hopping into that brand new Tesla. I don't know if that's the Roadster or not.
No, I don't think that's a Roadster. That front end doesn't look the same.
But the Roadster version 2, if y'all haven't looked it up,
Man,
holy
that's a good looking car.
crap, I want that.
As a red car, that is a sexy car right there.
And it looks futuristic while keeping that Roadster kind of classic look when the top's down.
That's good looking.
That is
And
beautiful.
that top just disappears. I mean, it just disappears into the car.
Wonder if I click reserve now, how much is that going to cost?
Oh.
Due today, $5,000.
I got $7 in my pocket, Joe.
One Roadster reservation is you have to put down a deposit within 10 days of $45,000.
I got $7.
And $5,000 is due today as soon as you book the reservation.
There's a nickel over there behind the chair.
And I wish I was doing well enough to be like, yep, let's put $45,000 on the credit card and let's.
I wonder how long till delivery. Because I don't think that's one you can just go to the dealership and pick up.
No, yeah. And there's always been cost overruns and all this. Yeah. We'll see. Designing this stuff's easy. Manufacturing, it's
Well, also another thing that we don't think about, this is an American-made product.
Yeah.
You know, this is an American car manufacturer. We, at least me personally, I don't think about them being a Ford, a Chevy, or a GMC, but it really is.
I'm trying to find that shot of Trump getting in there. Yeah, here.
Let me get in that sucker.
Yeah, this is him actually getting into the sucker. That's a pretty cool car right there. I could get used to that. Could you get used to that?
Oh, yeah.
And then
I need a charging station now.
Apparently, they also have a Cybertruck there, too. I think they just brought all of the main production cars. Like, pick one, Mr.
I was thinking he was going to buy a Cybertruck is what I thought the whole thing was. Because
I saw one this morning in Montgomery.
I've seen several now. I even seen a black one. Totally black.
The black matte one is cool.
Yeah, that one looks good. I don't know whose it is, but that looks good.
The stainless steel one, you can see there was one parked right next to me at the sauna place.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can see fingerprints
Orange,
for
you can see a lot of orange peel in it, yeah.
But, you know, the black matte one, I saw downtown, got to look at it up close.
Yeah.
I like that.
That does look good.
But
how much is the Cybertruck? 175? Is that it? I think that's what it was. I could be wrong.
175?
I thought it was
no, I think it's more like 75.
Oh, man. Oh, if that's the case, dude, you're running right there neck and neck with Ford and GMC.
And apparently they just kept this press conference going.
I'll talk to Vladimir Putin. Yeah, I want to look. That's the other. It takes two to tango, as they say, right? So hopefully he'll also agree, and I really think that would be 75% of the way. The rest is getting it documented and, you know, negotiating land positions, etc.
So you'll talk to him this week?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're starting out at $80,000.
Yeah, the Cybertruck. And if you want the real beast mode, you're getting into the hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, Cyber Beast mode's trims start out at $99,900.
Yeah.
Still,
I think that's multi-engine and like, man, that thing goes. Well, even just the standard engine though, those things are unwieldy. Actually, you can control it very well. It's just initially it might feel unwieldy.
But I've watched so many YouTube videos on the Cybertruck, and you know, of course, when people buy them, they try to destroy them, and
well, and everybody's kind of freaked out at first because it doesn't have, you know, a normal steering wheel,
right?
Where you do the full 360. Nope. It only goes 180.
Yep, you got
so just a little bit. It's like, oh, this thing turned.
But they're heavy, and I've seen people get stuck with them off road and things like that. But
sure, yeah,
that's fine.
It's not going to be the best off road if you're jumping dunes and stuff. You're going to be
no, but I would try
carriage and all that sort of stuff.
Give me a Cybertruck. First thing I'm going to try to do is tear it up too.
Yeah,
take that thing out to Potter's Marsh. Let's see what it can do.
This part of the program brought to you by Dylan Rings. I don't even know what that means. And they're at Dylan Rings. What was that? Go out to
Potter's Marsh. You never been
Potter's Marsh?
Potter's Marsh? I'm sorry. What do y'all call it over here? Something field over here in Forest Hills?
You're speaking Chisholm right now. I don't understand you. Let's talk about Dylan Rings. And they really, you like that one. Dylan Rings, they're full service jewelry
100%
shop.
Full service.
They're ready to help you. Maybe it's that time of year to say you got a little niece like I do.
Mm-hmm.
And she's still real young. She's not even 2 yet. But 3 or 4 or 5, get them that first piece of jewelry where it's like a fun little shape or paperclip bedazzled. Yeah. And of course, they have high-end jewelry items there. including antique items at Dillon Rings. Leslie puts together a great inventory and selection, but also everyday items that don't break the bank, that can meet any budget, that still look great at the end of the day. They also do spa treatments, so maybe you have a favorite ring or bracelet or necklace you wear because you wear it every day, it's a little worn out. It can shine and shimmer like it's brand new again after a spa treatment. Repair work, custom design work, appraisals. Maybe you got old jewelry you hadn't had appraised in a while. You might want to look into that. They can help you with all of that there at Dillon Rings. Just stop by today at 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery. That's just off of Atlanta Highway, sort of the back end entrance to AUM. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie that Joey and Eddie sent you. Don't forget, they're doing 50% off their sale on 50% of the store. Wow. So it's a great way to celebrate Josh's birthday. Y'all stop by. And again, tell them Joey and Eddie sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
We all want access to care and coverage we need to stay healthy, but Farm Bureau health plans aren't the answer. They are unregulated and unreliable when it comes to covering you and your family. If you have cancer or another pre-existing condition, well, you'd be out of luck. Alabama deserves better than empty promises. Call your state legislator now and tell them to vote no on Farm Bureau health plans. Visit fightcancer.org/Alabama. It's time for real health insurance.
Paid for by the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Tucker Pecan is in a brand new location at 1935 Mulberry Street, but they've still got the same great products they had when they were downtown. Here's David Little to tell you more.
Hey, David Little at Tucker Pecan here. I tell you what, since we have moved, we've had great response. People coming by our new store on 1935 Mulberry Street, and it's a lot of fun. You know why? Because we're getting to add new items. We're adding new candies, new jellies, new jams. We even have a honey called Hot Pecan Butter. It's so good. We have a hot honey. We have a peach jam. We have a hemp jelly that is mangoes, pineapples, and jelly. It is so good. We've got all those things. Plus, we've got all the great candies we've had before. And, you know, we're in a very convenient location. You don't have to go to downtown. You come to Tucker Pecan at 1935 Mulberry Street. Come shop with us, and we'll take care of all your gift needs, candies, or if you're just hungry, come by, and we'll fix you up.
Hello, I'm Johnny Sullivan from Sinclair's Restaurant. We're almost 27 years, and our business is as good as ever, and I give credit to Blue Water Broadcasting for keeping us on the air and letting people know what we do. Advertising with them has been a huge help to our business. I've seen a uptick from day one. If you need to grow your business, I highly recommend you give them a call.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Ernest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Ernest, 334-279-7431. Ernest Financial, LLC.
We've got a couple of nice days to enjoy before some more turbulent times later in the week, especially that Saturday severe weather threat. But for today, just about perfect with a high temperature up to about 74, plenty of sunshine. In fact, more sun tomorrow, Wednesday, with a high of 77. Risk of some scattered showers and thunderstorms by Thursday afternoon as the first of two disturbances move in. Friday's dry and warm, high 81. But it's that storm system Saturday that has our undivided attention. It could be a rather significant severe weather event, especially by late Saturday and Saturday night. That would include a tornado threat as well. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
You can make your ASC loan payments from your phone anytime, anywhere. It's quick and easy. www.yourasccu.com. Federally insured by NCUA.
Is your car looking tired, weary, and in desperate need of a makeover? Mr. Ben's Auto Spa on the Atlanta Highway has added a professional detail shop. Specialized techniques and products are used to get your vehicle back to showroom style. Hand washing, waxing, stain removal, odor removal, minor scratch removal, shampooing, and more. This is precision detailing perfected. Mr. Ben's Auto Spa, next to Fraser Church on the Atlanta Highway. Because your car deserves the royal treatment. Come by for a free estimate. Look like you've been to Mr. Ben's.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back, folks. 272-9228. What Trump got in was a Model S, which is not a bad vehicle. Also goes 0 to 60 in like 2 something seconds.
That is
go.
That's going, dude. I remember years ago, I can't remember the brand Subaru, but Subaru came out with a pretty fast one, and Voracek at the plant bought it. And down Hyundai Boulevard, we broke triple digits very easily. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was pinned to the seat. I was like, Voracek, do you know what you're doing? He's just grinning ear to ear.
Let me get in a second. You want my notes? Yeah. They gave me notes. I said, I'm not Biden. I don't need notes.
Yeah. You want my notes?
Yeah, and as soon as, I love in this administration, as soon as the negative news and all the negative, they do something to sort of counteract it. Let's go to John T. Hey,
yes,
John.
sir. Hey, John, how you doing?
Hey, Eddie, Joey, how y'all doing this afternoon?
Pretty good.
Good. Quick story, but right when you said something about the Vortec, that reminded me of, remember the days of the Mazda, and they had a rotary engine?
The rotary engine, yep.
Oh, yeah.
And that thing, the RPMs, you could just keep going. I mean, that thing just got quicker, faster, and faster, and faster.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But my quick story is, I was coming out of East Chase yesterday, the back entrance onto Chantilly.
Mm-hmm.
And I was first in line to take a left, and then the car next to me drove up, and it was a Cybertruck, the silver Cybertruck. And I was saying, man, that is so cool. I kind of looked at it. I'm in my F-150, dirty as all get out. I'm going, dang, come if you want to trade.
You got a real truck. You're good.
Yeah. But strange as it is we were at the red light, and coming from the interstate going south, I guess, was another Cybertruck, just like it. I said 2 of them at one time here. It was incredible. I thought that was pretty neat. But,
there are a couple here in Montgomery. I think I've seen a couple of the silver ones, but the black one is the one that just gets my attention.
Very cool car.
I can't wait. I want to see that one. But, I'm a member of a couple of Jeep clubs in Montgomery, and, we go down the highways, and our deal is to wave at each other, with the hands up on the steering wheel, whatever. Well, these guys just salute each other. There's no hands about it. They salute.
Really? That's interesting.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Anyway, that's all I got.
Appreciate it.
Have a great afternoon.
Hey, thank you, John
Thanks,
T.
John. Let's go to Clint. Hey, Clint.
Good day, guys.
Good day, Clint.
Yeah. Hey, you talking about John Walker Holmes?
Yes.
Yeah, when I was a kid, this is early 60s. They were pretty much booming then. And I think what they did, they built the shell of the house, and the homeowner had to finish it on the inside.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the way that was.
I don't know if then people could finance them. That's what holds a lot of people up is if they had, if it were affordable and you could buy cash, like I think my mom's house in the Gardens cost her $18,000 back in the 60s, right?
Okay.
And granted, I know that money's different then and now and all that, but right now, if you were to buy a house, unless you've got cash, you've got to get it financed, and to get it financed, the house and you have to meet certain very strict criteria. So that, it kind of holds some people up too as well.
Well, Walker Holmes still in business?
I don't know. I'll look. Like I said, I remember they were out on Troy Highway even up into the 90s. So I don't know, but I'm going to check it out and see.
And hey, good for Trump buying a Tesla.
Yeah, I enjoyed this press conference in particular. Him talking all these serious matters with all the models behind him.
Do you know what time they're going to have the vote on the spending bill?
Any moment now. I have not seen anything breaking on that yet.
Okay. But hey, is Sweet Creek still open?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Still got some good stuff down there.
Yeah, go check them out.
Oh, yeah, I've been down there many times. It's a good place to go.
Yes, it is.
Get that Boston butt.
Mm-hmm.
It is so good, but I can't write right now, so I'm right-handed, and my right hand is all busted up.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Clint.
So, how do I get the phone number? I mean, you guys can give it out, but I cannot write it down, and I cannot write left-handed.
Can I text it to you?
Sure.
All right, hold on. When we get off air, I'll hold your.
I'm gonna put you on hold, and Eddie's gonna get that info for you. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. Let's go to who's been holding the longest? Line 4. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, you guys, it's Woody.
Hey, Woody. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I was going to call you that guy that called about the rotary motors.
Yeah.
The Mazda. When I was 19, I bought a Mazda RX-2. And it was a 2-door. It had the rotary motor. I think it was 5-speed, if I'm not mistaken. But he's right. You could wind that motor up, and it would bark third gear when you pop it up foot. But it was an incredible motor. Absolutely incredible.
No, and the whole love of cars and like the latest technology, and that's just American through and through, and it's good to see that hasn't completely died in the population.
Yeah. All right. Well, I just want to throw my 2 cents.
Appreciate it, man.
Enjoy.
Thanks, Woody. Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is Kevin.
Hey, Kevin. How are you doing?
I'm fine, man. I got a question. After Trump gets his car, where can he drive it?
Well, that's what he was kind of joking about. How does Secret Service really want us to do this thing? I bet being the president, you could shut down a course or something and have a lot of fun with that thing.
Okay, I get you. Yeah. All right. Well, where are they going to send it to? The White House?
Yeah, they had all the different models parked right outside the front door of the White House.
Oh, I missed that part. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll figure this out later, man. I'm sorry I had to bother y'all.
Oh, no, it's all good. Appreciate it, Kevin.
Man, see ya.
272-9228. Seeing here Marco Rubio and Mike Waltz, the National Security Advisor, and Rubio, of course, Secretary of State, announcing big breakthroughs in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, meeting with the Ukrainians. Let's listen into this real quick.
Ukrainians have accepted, which is to enter into a ceasefire and into immediate negotiations to end this conflict in a way that's enduring and sustainable and accounts for their interests, their security, their ability to prosper as a nation. I want to personally we both want to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Majesty, for hosting us, for making this possible. They've been instrumental in this process, and we're very grateful to them for hosting us here today. And hopefully we'll take this offer now to the Russians. And we hope that they'll say yes to peace. The ball's now in their court. And but again, the president's objective here is, number one, above everything else, he wants the war to end. And I think today Ukraine has taken a concrete step in that regard. We hope the Russians will reciprocate.
Yeah, hopefully so. We actually get this thing over and done with. Let's go to Ray Bowles from Bradville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
Well, today I'm doing great. I'm actually not playing Bradville Carpet. I'm playing library. I've got Angie and Sailor in the car. We went to Tuscaloosa and picked up shelving for the library. Tuscaloosa was kind enough to donate shelving. So what do you do? Go get it.
There you go.
Shelving. Angie just looked at me and said, "You're pronouncing that wrong."
Of course. Well, I mean, I don't know how you'd be doing without that wife of yours. Like, I don't know how you'd be living even at this point.
No, I don't know how I don't get in a wreck on a daily basis. I don't involve it. I'm trying to get you to say something, and all she's doing is raising her eyebrows at me now.
Yep. Oh, she's going to say something once you get off the phone.
and I got an hour in the car. This is not good, fellas.
No, it's not going to be good for you, buddy.
Well, make my day a little better and call 285-8117 and let one of the guys come out and give you a free quote. That'll lift my spirit.
Yeah, and it'll lift your spirits, folks out there. Get that free quote at 285-8117. And when you call them up at 285-8117, be sure to tell them you heard Ray Bowles on the radio trying to get in trouble.
Guys, have a great day.
You too, buddy.
Ray. Always love hearing from that fella.
Me too.
No, and I love seeing these breakthroughs. Now, again, all
Today
this
we
is,
made an offer.
Okay,
that
yeah, we already heard that.
Heard that
Marco.
one, right?
Thank you, sir. Here, let's listen in. This is the National Security Advisor, Waltz.
Just think about it. We've gone from if the war is going to end to now how the war is going to end, and this was an important first step, and that was under President Trump's leadership. He has literally moved the entire global conversation to where we had a very senior Ukrainian delegation with us today. We've had engagements with our Russian counterparts, and now it's how the war is going to end, and that's under President Trump's leadership.
It's just refreshing all around, seeing things breaking in a good way at this point. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. But you might want to hold your horses because I'm pretty much out of time. Greg Budell and Pamela Dubuque, they should be next. Eddie, what did we learn today before we get out of here? That Trump likes the Tesla.
Trump likes a Tesla, and somehow China can sell an electric car and lose $35,000 to $48,000 per vehicle, and it's okay.
That's insane.
How is that okay?
It's absolutely insane. Oh, we learned that there's breakthroughs with peace with Ukraine.
Yes, with
and
Ukraine.
Russia.
Yep.
We'll see in the Middle East. We'll see.
We'll see.
Because I don't want to see any war break out.
No, I think Trump's peace plan is actually starting to take hold. I think people are starting to take it
Elon
serious.
announced they're going to double
Double
car
production.
production for Tesla in the next 2 years.
The only thing holding them back is employees. That's what's been killing them.
Yeah, Coach really is thinking of running for governor here in the great state of
Right,
Alabama. That's
right.
changing up the whole field for 2026. There's so much going on, but we got to get out of here.
Right.
Oh, yeah, and the Canadians backed off of the whole we're going to shut off your electricity. He's real tough, so I respect him, but he's not going to do that. Anyway, y'all stay tuned. Greg and Pamela, they're next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is